Well, a very, very happy Monday, and welcome to a special edition of Major League Baseball here on the TNC Sports Talk YouTube channel. Hi, my name is Justin, and we have a more condensed pregame show getting you guys ready for tonight's matchup between the Los Angeles Dodgers and the Baltimore Orioles. Game one of a three-game series coming after the All-Star break, which included last week. Well, for the Dodgers, they ended up began their second half of the season or back end of the season on the road in New York, taking on the New York Mets as they actually won back on Friday, shut out 6-0. They also beat the Mets on Saturday 5-1 and dropping the finale series on Sunday 2-1. The Mets picked up that victory. They get ready for a 3-game series tonight. Baltimore, on the other hand, on a nice little 8-game winning streak, sweeping the Miami Marlins over the weekend. That winning streak is actually dated back a couple of before the All-Star break. And you look at one of the teams that right now is, who's playing hot and, excited to watch, and that's these Baltimore Orioles. They're currently second place in the AL West, just currently, if I'm not mistaken, let me get the standings correctly. Baltimore is just a game out of first place over the Tampa Bay Rays. Very, very fascinating. Dodgers sit in first place, a game and a half up on the San Francisco Giants for their for the standings. But tonight's going to be a nice game. Dodgers come into tonight's game 53-39 as the Orioles come in 57-35, and it's going to be a nice young rookie battle, youngsters up on the mound tonight, as the Dodgers have Emmett Sheehan, a right-handed pitcher, 23 years old. He's 2-0 with a 4.35 ERA with 16 strikeouts on the season. The Orioles are sending Grayson Rodriguez, calling him up, right-handed pitcher, 23-year-old, who's 2-2, who's also 7 with a 7.35 ERA and 56 strikeouts. You guys can watch tonight's game available in Baltimore on the MASN network. For Dodgers, you can watch the game on Sportsnet LA. National-wise, you guys can also watch the game on MLB Network on the out-of-market games only. You can also listen to the game if you are in Baltimore on 98 Rock FM HD2, 97.9, or WBAL News Radio AM FM. If you're in Los Angeles, you could also listen to this game tonight on the Dodgers Radio AM 570 or KTNQ 1020. Tonight's game between the Dodgers and the Baltimore Orioles coming up here at Oriole Park at Camden Yards in Baltimore, Maryland. We'll come on back. Today's pregame show is given to you thanks to StreamYard Studios. Create podcasts, videos, host virtual business meetings, and even conduct interviews. Tonight, we'll go ahead and get you covered of the out-of-town scoreboard as we begin a new week of Major League Baseball this afternoon. A handful of games about to get underway. We'll also give you a little bit breakdown of the pitching matchup as well as your lineups and first pitch. You guys are listening to the TNC Sports Talk pregame show here on the TNC Sports Talk YouTube channel. Welcome on back here to tonight's pregame show as we look forward to the Baltimore Orioles and the Los Angeles Dodgers. First pitch scheduled for 7:05 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Want to thank everyone for tuning in. If you guys liked this channel, please hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Also, don't forget to hit those notification buttons so you don't miss a single episode. We will also be back on Wednesday night, 6:40 or 6:30 for the Philadelphia Phillies and Milwaukee Brewers game. Game 3 of a 4-game series for those two squads. Game 1 of a 3-game series tonight between the Dodgers and the Orioles. Tips off tonight. But before we get to that, little July 17th history. Today in history for Major League Baseball, back in 1941, Joe DiMaggio hitting streak of 56 games was stopped by Al Smith and Jim Bagby of the Indians before 67,000 at Cleveland. The Yankees still won 4-3. Also, back in history, today in Major League Baseball history, back in 1987, Don Mattingly became the first American League player to hit at least one home run in each of 7 consecutive games as the Yankees beat the Texas Rangers 8-4. Pretty interesting on this July 17th, Monday edition of Today in History. Thank you guys for listening. All right, out of town scoreboard here coming your way. Take a look at things. A lot of the game, no games has played. All the games are about to begin coming up here around 7 o'clock, and then later on in this evening. Kicking things off, the Guardians are in Pittsburgh to take on those Pirates. First pitch schedule is 7:05. The Giants are visiting the Reds after the Reds dropped 3 games to Milwaukee over the weekend. Christian Encarnacion Strand is going to be making his Major League debut, having a nice hot position down there in the minor leagues. Earlier this season, Ellie De La Cruz came up. Christian Encarnacion Strand's turn is now. Giants will have Logan Webb on the mound, who's right-handed pitcher, 8-7 with a 3.14 ERA and 127 strikeouts. As the Reds come into tonight's game over there, 50-44, 2 games back of the NL Central Milwaukee Brewers. Brandon Williamson will get the nod, left-handed pitcher. He's 1-2 on the season with a 5.21 ERA and 38 strikeouts. Coming up a little later on in the 7 o'clock hour, 7:45, first pitch, Marlins and Cardinals. 8:05, Washington Nationals on the road to Chicago Cubs. The Tampa Bay Rays take on the Texas Rangers at 8:05 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Shane McClanahan, left-handed pitcher, 11-1, 2.53 ERA with 101 strikeouts. The Rangers, 55-39, has Dan Dunning, right-handed pitcher, 8-2 with the 2.84 ERA with 59 strikeouts on the mound. It's going to be a good series for that ball game. That first pitch is at 8:05. As the Baltimore Orioles will actually be headed to Tampa Bay after this 3-game series. 8:10 start, Detroit Tigers and Kansas City Royals. Kansas City comes into play, 27-67. 9:38, the Yankees. Luis Severino, right-handed pitcher, 1-4 with the 7.38 ERA. Will to go on against the Angels. Griffin Canning, right-handed pitcher, 6-4 on the season with the 4.52 ERA, will get the nod for the Halos. At 9:40 tonight, the Red Sox will take on the Athletics. Athletics coming to the game, 25-70. Paul Blackburn will get the nod for the mound. He's 1-1 with the 4.86 ERA. And the last game of the evening, the Minnesota Twins take on the Seattle Mariners tonight. That is your out-of-town scoreboard. We'll keep you updated throughout the game, and we'll give you an out-of-town scoreboard throughout the game and after the game in the post-game show. Current standing spots right now for these teams: Tampa Bay Rays leading the AL West, AL East, 60-36. They have a game lead over the Baltimore Orioles, who comes into play 57-35, followed by the Toronto Blue Jays, 53-41, 6 games back. The Boston Red Sox and the New York Yankees are tied at 50-44, sharing the 4th and 5th place, 9 games out. In the National League West, the Dodgers have a game and a half above the San Francisco Giants at 53-39. Giants sit at 52-41. The Diamondbacks are right behind them, 52-42, 2 games back of the division. The Padres are 44-50 with 10 games behind, as the Colorado Rockies are 36-58. If the playoffs began today, everything stopped today. Here's how things looked. American League, Tampa Bay Rays will host the number one seed, followed by the Texas Rangers with the second best record in the American League. And then the Minnesota Twins in the third place. And Baltimore Orioles will have the first spot in the wild card as they are 6 games up. Toronto Blue Jays hold that second spot, 1 game up. Houston Astros will have that third wild card. In contentions as of right now, Boston Red Sox, New York Yankees, 2 games back. Seattle Mariners are 5 games back, followed by the Los Angeles Angels, and then 6.5 games back with the Cleveland Guardians. Over there in the National League, the Atlanta Braves are holding nice and firm with the best record in Major League Baseball today, followed by the Los Angeles Dodgers and then the Milwaukee Brewers. The wild card holds as follows, since San Francisco and Miami Marlins have a game and a half a game above the Arizona Diamondbacks in the wild card position. In contingency for the wild card spot on this beautiful July 17th, Philadelphia Phillies are a half a game back. They played tonight. I believe they played tonight. Cincinnati Reds are 2 games back of the wild card. Padres and the Cubs are 8 games back, with the New York Mets 8.5 games back. That is your out-of-town scoreboard and a standings update. All right, when we return, we will get you a quick look at the starting pitching lineup for both squads, as well as the lineups and first pitch. You guys are listening to the TNC Sports Talk pregame show on the TNC Sports Talk YouTube channel. Want to go ahead and thank everyone who's tuned in to today's pregame show. I understand it was a little bit smaller than normal, but it was a pregame show nonetheless. Be sure to tune us in after tonight's ball game. As long as the game doesn't go extra innings, it will be a post-game show, giving you highlights of the game, thoughts, opinions, a look at the rest of the schedule coming up for both teams, as well as a out-of-town scoreboard. You guys can tune into the post-game show right after the game. Be sure to hit that like, share, and subscribe button for all the information. Thank you guys for listening, and enjoy tonight's ball game. Well, welcome to a special Monday edition of Major League Baseball here on the TNC Sports Talk YouTube channel. My name is Justin, and I thank everyone for tuning in to tonight's broadcast between the Los Angeles Dodgers and the Baltimore Orioles. Hi, everyone, and it's going to expect it to be a nice, beautiful day at Camden Yards in Baltimore, Maryland, as the first place Los Angeles Dodgers are in town for a 3-game series between the Baltimore Orioles. The Dodgers come into tonight's game 53-39, first in the NL West, as the Orioles come in 57-35, second in the AL East, just a game back of the Tampa Bay Rays. Tonight's pitching is going to be a bit more interesting, as the Dodgers will have right-handed pitcher Emmett Shahan on the mound, 23-year-old youngster. He's 2-0 on the season with a 4.35 ERA and 16 strikeouts recorded. For the Baltimore Orioles, they will have Grayson Rodriguez, who's got called up today, right-handed pitcher, 23 years old, who's 2-2 with the 7.35 ERA and 56 strikeouts. Last game for Grayson, he pitched back on May 26 against the Rangers. Picked up the loss, only going 3 1/3 of an inning, allowing 6 hits, 8 runs, walking 3 batters, and striking out 6. So it's going to be a nice, interesting matchup between these two pitchers, young pitchers. So they haven't, both of these lineups have not really seen what these pitchers have to hold. But I will say, I was looking at these lineups, and I'll give you the lineups here in just a few moments. They're very complex. A lot of left-handed batters, a lot of switch-handed batters, which will mean some really good baseball expected tonight. Game 1 of a 3-game series here between the Dodgers and the Orioles. Want to give a big shout out and thank StreamYard Studios providing the streaming platform for tonight's ball game on the TNC Sports Talk YouTube channel. Create your podcast, videos, host virtual business meetings, and conduct interviews. Check out their free version today at StreamYard.com. Starting lineup for the Los Angeles Dodgers, penciled in by Dave Roberts. Dodgers come into tonight's game 53-39. Batting first at second base is Mookie Betts. At first base, batting second, Freddie Freeman. Batting third, the catcher, Will Smith. Max Muncy will bat cleanup. He'll be the designated hit. He'll be playing third base, The designated hitter batting fifth is J.D. Martinez. David Peralta will be playing left field. He'll be batting sixth. Batting seventh in right field is Jason Hayward. Batting eighth at shortstop is Chris Taylor. Batting ninth, the center fielder, James Ottman. That's Betts, Freeman, Smith, Muncy, Martinez, Peralta, Hayward, Taylor, Ottman for the lineup. Defensive positions for the Baltimore Orioles coming into tonight's game. Left to right, we have Colton Cowser in left field. Center field, we will have, I have it right here, Aaron Hicks. Right field, Anthony Santander. Third base is Ramon Urias. Gunnar Henderson at short. Second base is Adam Frazier. First base is Ryan O'Hearn. Then doing the catching for today's pitcher is Aldi Rutschman. As we are set, ready to go, underway. The first pitch is in there. Down low, called for a ball. First pitch tonight is 7:05. 89 degrees, clear skies tonight. Winds 8 miles an hour out to center field. The 0-1 count, a swing and fouled along the left field side. It's 1-1. The Dodgers wearing their gray tops, gray bottoms, blue stitchings on their uniforms with the names and letterings. They have the red stitching and the letterings and the numbers up in front. Here's the 1-1 pitch. This one's flied out to right field, and getting under it, moving over a few steps to the right is Anthony Santander, and one away. The Baltimore Orioles will have their gray, white tops, white bottoms, orange stitching, and they have their bill caps with the little white in front for Baltimore. Coming up to the bat right now, it's Freddie Freeman, left-handed pitcher, a batter. Freddie Freeman is batting .314. Here's the first pitch. This one's chopped foul. It's 0-1. Tonight's umpires calling balls and strikes behind the plate is David Rackley. At first base is Chris Gusion. Edwin Moscaco is at second, and Nate Tomlinson at third. This one's down low for a ball. 1-1. Just getting settled. Nice crowd so far at Camden Yards on a Monday. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That's up high. 2 balls and 1 strike. You talk about maybe key elements of the game. If you're Baltimore on a nice little 8-game winning streak here, here's the 2-1. That's outside. It's 3 balls, 1 strike to Freeman. Will Smith is up next. And this is going to probably be considered one of the toughest weeks for Baltimore in the season, as a swing and a miss for Freeman works himself to a full count. Oh, nice change up on the inside, 85 miles. Here's the 3-2. This one's chopped foul behind the plate. It's 3-2 again. But key element for this game, if you're Baltimore, it's get to the Dodgers batters early. They're very dangerous, and if you especially allow them to work into the account, they can definitely take advantage. So defensive power is to get to them early, as this one's also fouled back. 3-2 again to Freddie Freeman. And I think it's going to be vice versa. If you're offensive power, you got to get on base, and the Orioles have have the bats to do so. It's the reason why they're in second place. This is chopped right to third. Urias will get it. A toss over to first, and 2 away. Ground out to third. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. Be sure to hit that like, share, and subscribe button and press those notifications so you don't miss a single episode or a single video. Here's the first pitch to Smith. It's in there, called for a strike. Smith is batting .270, 13 home runs, 47 RBIs on the season. 2 outs, nobody on here in the top of the first inning. Dodgers and Orioles. This one's outside. 4-seam fastball, 100 miles an hour. And this is going to be youngsters at the finest. Both starting pitchers tonight, 23 years old. There's a pitch fouled back. As we mentioned, the last time Grayson Rodriguez pitched was back on May 26 against the Rangers. He went 3 1/3 of an inning, giving up 6 hits, 8 runs, 3 walks allowed, only striking out 6. Like to see if he can do a little bit more tonight, as this one's grounded past the first baseman, rolling into right field. Get himself a base hit. It was a nice little protection for Will Smith taking it the opposite direction. Nice diving attempt by first baseman Ryan O'Hearn. Deflects off of him and then off of Frazier there at second to roll into the outfield. Max Muncy steps up. And with 1 on and 2 outs, first pitch is in there, called for a strike. I'm going to give Will Smith a base hit. Here's the 0-1 pitch. This one's fouled off quickly, 0-2. We have Smith on first, 2 outs here in the top of the first inning. Dodgers looking to come into tonight's game just working the count, getting early to Baltimore. You would normally think of this being a nice, easy series for LA. Turns to be more compelling. A swing and a miss, and Muncy goes down on strikes to retire the side. Smith stranded on first. No runs in. We head to the bottom of the first for Baltimore to play. You guys are listening to Major League Baseball here on the TNC Sports Talk YouTube channel. The Baltimore Orioles coming up to bat. Starting lineup for the Orioles penciled in by manager Brandon Hyde. Batting first at shortstop is Gunnar Henderson. Batting second at behind the plate is Aldi Rutschman. First pitch in. It's up high for a ball. Batting third in right field, Anthony Santander. First base, Brian O'Hearn. He'll be batting cleanup. The designated hitter batting fifth, Ryan Mountcastle. Here's the 1-0 outside. 2 balls, no strikes to Henderson. Batting sixth in center field is Aaron Hicks. Batting seventh in left field is Colton Cowser. Batting eighth at third base is Ramon Urias. Adam Frazier will be batting ninth at second base. 2 balls, no strikes here to the pitch. It's fouled back left field side. Here's the defensive position looking from left to right. David Peralta in left field. We'll have James Outman in left center, Jason Hayward out there in right. 2 balls, 1 strike, inside, 3-1. At third base, we will have Max Muncy for the Dodgers, Chris Taylor at shortstop, Mookie Betts playing second base, and at first base, Freddie Freeman. Doing the catching for tonight for the Dodgers is Will Smith. 3 balls, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. Swings, chop into center field. Coming in is Outman, and he'll make the grab. 1 away. Tonight's a little key of the games. If you're Baltimore, you're facing a young pitcher. Get on, work the count, get him going, get him through the cycle, through a couple of different pitches. As the first pitch is in there, called for a strike. Four-seam fastball. Aldi Rutschman, 275. This one's outside. Just 1 ball, 1 strike. Twelve home runs on the season. 1-1 count. It's up high. 2 balls, 1 strike. And this one's inside, gets away. Tonight's pitcher for the Dodgers is Emmett Sheehan, who is 2-0 with a 4.35 ERA. Last game he pitched was on 4th of July. He went 3 2/3 of an inning, giving up 4 hits, 5 runs, 4 walks, and 4 strikeouts. This one's fouled. 3-2, full count. Here's the 3-2. This one is chopped foul. Coming up next is Anthony Santander. Likes to get on, someone could get on base and get something going here and early on. Here's the 3-2. That one's on the inside. And after a nice out bat, and so 1's out. So one out, 1 on. Base on balls here for Anthony Santander. Here's the first pitch. That's on the inside corner, called for a strike. No balls, 1 strike. Runner on first, 1 away. Here's the 0-1 pitch. This one is chopped foul on the right field side. I was complexing over calling this game this afternoon, trying to find a perfect game this evening, and a game that was intriguing. And to look at these two records and where these two teams are right now in that, halfway through the month of July, I'm like, okay, why not? Normally I try to call when I call games here on this program, on this channel is only something interesting. There's a diving stop play by Freddie Freeman, toss over to second and over to first. Couldn't get Santanda in time. Freddie Freeman, nice diving play to keep the ball in front. He throws it over to second to get the out at second. A little too late at first. It doesn't look like they're going to be challenging that play. So nice attempt by Freddie Freeman. Marshman's out at second. Santander is on first base. That's going to be a 3-6 replacement. First pitch chopped right field side. That's going to get down into right field. Coming over to third is Santander. As the ball comes in, the runners are going to be on the corners. Nice base hit coming off of from Ryan O'Hearn. And this is just right over, it's splitting the gap on the right field between Betts and Freeman. Baltimore seems to have something going here early on. You think of a series you want to call, maybe a game you want to call, the Dodgers, Yankees, Dodgers, Rays, Dodgers, Orioles, something not really heard of. Here's the first pitch. It's inside, called for a ball. Here's the 1-0. This is hit, lined into left field along the line foul territory. Coming in to score is Santander. And running around all the way around to third is O'Hearn for the first run of the game. And this is simple baseball being played early on. And you wonder, you see why they're playing so well and they're in the position they're at in the month of July. This is just a ball left on the inside. He takes it down the third base line. No play attempt for Max Muncy there. You get the runner in at third and some great base running by O'Hearn. And the Orioles are up 1-0. Stepping in, taking first pitch in there for called strike is Aaron Hicks. Aaron Hicks batting .229, 7 home runs, 22 RBIs on the season. As the runners are in scoring position, second and third. This one's up high. It's 1-1. So we're going to be stretching that out actually to a double. As the 1-1 pitch is outside. 2 balls, 1 strike. Emmett sets. Here's the pitch. It's down the middle. 2-2. And trying to get out to an early lead because if you're any team who plays the Dodgers in the sense, the game's not over until you get all 27 outs, and they're hard to get no matter if it's starting pitcher or the bullpen. This one's fouled back. They'll replay 2-2. Something that Baltimore's done so well here lately. He's been able to get on a nice little, go out. One of the key elements of winning the game is going out to score first. You have a better percentage of winning the game if you're the first team who scores. Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss goes down Aaron Hicks. So a couple man stranded, but not until Baltimore gets on the board. After 1, Baltimore's up 1-0 here on the TNC Sports Talk YouTube channel. Tonight's production is given to you thanks to StreamYard Studios, the proud home of the TNC Sports Talk YouTube channel, where you can create podcasts, videos, host virtual business meetings, and conduct interviews. Check out the free version today at StreamYard.com. First pitch in there to David Peralta, or JT Martinez, excuse me, is down low in there on the outside corner, called for a strike. It's 0-1. Baltimore has an early 1-0 lead. This one's in there, called for a strike. He's quickly down 0-2. Here's the 0-2 pitch. That one's down in the dirt. 1 ball, 2 strikes. I will say so far so good. I think one of the key elements we're going to be paying attention to tonight's ball game is seeing how long the starters will last in the ball game. Here's the 1-2. This is grounded to short to Henderson. Quick throw over to first and 1 away. David Peralta's up next. Peralta. Here's the first pitch. A swing and a foul. 0-1. Peralta's 271. OPS is 723. Baltimore's on a 8-game winning streak. The Dodgers coming in, winning the series in New York against the Mets. This one's up high. Check with the third base umpires. Didn't go around. It's 1-1. Peralta, 7 home runs, 34 RBIs. Dodgers picked up the series victory against the New York Mets, winning game Friday and Saturday, dropping the game on Sunday 2-1. That's outside for a ball. Martinez homered on Friday night. This one's outside. Just 3 balls, 1 strike. Betts homered on Saturday night. No one homered on last night or yesterday. The series before that, the Dodgers picked up a sweep over the Angels at home. This one's getting down into left field for 1-out knock. Taking an opposite direction here. A little bit of a shift over there in third. You may be opposed to the new shift rules, how can't really head over to the other side of the field. You have to have 2 players or 2 infielders on each side of the ball. As the first pitch is in there down in the dirt for Jason Hayward. But you had third baseman Ramon Urias a little over to the right side of the left side of the field, stacking himself up with Gunnar Hernandez over there. Got right past him. As the pitch is up high in the outside corner for a strike. Jason Hayward, another lefty. They got 5. Dodgers have 5 lefties in tonight's lineup. This one's outside. Freeman, Muncy, Peralta, Hayward, Outman. Their entire bench tonight is filled with righties. We'll see how Dave Roberts wants to play that out. 2-1, 1 on, 1 out, outside. Called for a strike. Give it to him. Hayward doesn't like that pitch. It's 2-2. Baltimore leads 1-0 here in the second inning. Rodriguez sets. Delivers. This one's hit right off the mound. A tap at second for Henderson. A throw over to first, and it is a 6 unassisted to 6-3 double play to end the inning. Orioles up 1-0. We head to the bottom of the second inning here on the TNC Sports Talk YouTube channel. Bottom of the second inning, first pitch in there to Colton Cowser is outside for a ball. Cowser 330, 10 home runs this season in AAA, 40 RBIs. Batting 143 right now in the major league level. This is up high, 2 balls and no strikes. It is the 7th, 8th, and 9th batters due up in this inning. Baltimore has a 1-0 lead early on versus the Dodgers. Game 1 of a 3-game series. This one's in there, called for a strike. Here's the 2-1 count. Outside, 3 balls, no strikes. Tomorrow night's game between the Dodgers and Orioles, you have Michael Grove for the Dodgers on the mound versus Tyler Wells for the Orioles. Here's the 3-1. That's inside. Down the middle, called for a strike. 3-2. On Wednesday, rubber game series. The first pitch is at 1:05 Eastern Standard Time. Julio Urias for the Dodgers and Dean Kramer for the Orioles. This one's up high, gets away from Shahan. Second walk of the game, leadoff walk here in the second inning. Baltimore would then go to Tampa Bay for a 4-game series this weekend as the Dodgers will head over to Arlington to face the Rangers beginning Friday in a 3-game series then. This one's up high and out. Called for a strike, though, for Ramon Urias. 257 full home runs on the season so far. A runner on first, nobody out. Here's the 0-1 pitch outside. Swing and a miss. The throwback over to first. Gets away from Freeman. No play. Well, this was way outside, and Smith almost had no choice but to throw it back over to first with how far outside this was. This was a lazy swing by Urias. Definitely chasing it. Possibly a hit and run. A nice lead off there by Cowser at first. Here's another good lead off. It's on the outside plate, called for a ball. This is hit, fly ball out to center field, coming in, diving, not being able to get it as the center fielder Coming into third is Cowser. That was diving attempt by James Outman. And Jason Hayward had to back him up. And this allows for some extra bases. Well, this was an up high and out pitch. He takes opposite direction, coming over and diving an attempt by Outman in center. Overshoots it just by a hairline. Gets under his glove, past him in center, and allows a nice double play from there. This first pitch, it's outside for a ball, 1-0 to Adam Frazier. 240 on the season and 86 games. Here's the 1-0. That's down the middle. So we're going to score this on a double for Urias. That's his 17 on the season. Here's the 1-1. That's outside. 2 balls, 1 strike. We have our trivia questions for both teams coming up. 4th inning will be the Baltimore Orioles. 8th inning will be the Los Angeles Dodgers. We have the out-of-town scoreboard. Take a look what goes on in Major League Baseball today. Here's the 2-1 count. This is grounded to short. Coming in is grabbing it is Chris Taylor. Only play is at first, which he'll make. But a runner scores as Cowser crosses home. And Urias advances to third. Well, nice little RBI sacrifice them right there for Adam Frazier. You know, you got to really like his power. You know, last season, traded from Pittsburgh to San Diego. This one's outside. I checked the back by at third from Will Smith. No goes. We're back at the top of the lineup for Gunnar Santander. Or Gunnar Henderson. Sorry, I have it marked different in my scorecard here. Want to know the count? Here's the pitch. This is line in the right field side. Fair ball, first base umpire says. Trotting in is Urias. Going around to second is Gunnar. All the way around to third. Here's the throw, no play. A stretched out RBI triple by Gunnar Henderson. Another run comes across, and another run opportunity comes afoot as Henderson's now 90 feet away from the home plate. Well, this was a nice line ball up the first base line. First base umpire says it's fair. I didn't quite really see it. And once he wrapped around first, he had this length going. Hayward's not really fast out there in the outfield. And Henderson just sprinted all the way through to third. So resetting everything here for Aldi Rutschman. And probably a chance for the Dodgers to look at this a little closely to make sure it's fair or not. Maybe asking the umpires to see if they could possibly challenge this play. I want to hold up there. And here's another play. We get the long distance. And, I mean, as long as that ball is over the bag in fair territory, when it comes over the bag, it can be considered fair because it bounced fair, but then it bounced foul out there in right field. This one's on the outside, so no challenge. Ball 1 to Aldi Rutschman. He walked back in the first inning. 3-0 Baltimore leads. 2 more runs put up this inning. Here's the 1-0. That's down low. 2 balls, no strike. So it's an RBI triple for Henderson. So if you guys are keeping score along with us, a visit to the mound by Will Smith, Dodgers catcher. Out of town scoreboards we'll be paying attention to this evening. Giants in Cincinnati for a 3-game series, I believe. Logan Webb's on the mound for them. Rays over in Texas. That one's up high. 3 balls, no strikes. You think about pitching to Rutschman? Probably not. I wouldn't. But, hey, who knows? Shane McClanahan takes on Dane Dunning in that series. Here's a 3-1. This has popped up. In foul territory coming over is third baseman Max Muncy, and he'll catch it as he leans into the crowd for 2 away. You want a chance to get out of this inning before danger is starting to lurk for the Dodgers. And yet, you've seen some woes continue for LA. This is their epitome. They didn't come off to a jump start of the season. Arizona actually led the NL West for a good period of time. This one's hit right back up the middle. Shortstopper Chris Taylor will get it, fires over to first to retire the side in the inning. 2 more runs scored in as Baltimore extend their lead 3-0 here on the TNC Sports Talk YouTube channel. Top of the 3rd inning here, Baltimore out front 3-0. As we have 8, 9, and 1 due up. Chris Taylor steps up to the plate, batting .213 in 61 games, 11 home runs with 26 RBIs. Here's the first pitch to Taylor. That's on the outside. It's ball 1. These two teams playing extremely well. That's why I decided to call this game this evening. But they have 2 different pathways and directions. I think I love these type of stories, a swing and a miss from Taylor, and the count goes 1-1. For the Dodgers, you kind of do expect them to mount that NL West division. This is outside, 2 balls, 1 strike. They've had for the past couple of years. The Padres kind of made a threat. But this season, they've had to endure some losses. They've actually had to lose a couple of great talent players. Here's the 2-1. It's on the outside corner, called for a strike, 2-2. But you have Mookie Betts, you have Freddie Freeman, you still have Clayton Kershaw. Here's the 2-2 that's down in the dirt. Full count for Chris Taylor. James Outman due up next. As a matter of fact, the Dodgers actually did not get out to a hot start in that West Division. Arizona, who's been surprising a lot of teams, this one's fouled back, out of play. Well, just the last couple of weeks, the Dodgers have been on some hot streak, I would say, right? 3-2 pitch. This is a grounded to third. Ramon Urias will grab it. Throw it over to first. A get out of the way type throw, but in time for out number one. But if you're the Dodgers, excuse me, if you're the Dodgers, you find you don't hit the panic button quite yet, right? You hit the panic button if you're in third place in September. You also can follow back on that wild card spot. There's 3 positions now. But the Dodgers never really hit that panic button. They actually feel really comfortable. And when they feel comfortable, when they play with no worries, they just get the job done. And that's why they're in first place. First pitch to Outman is in there, called for a strike. 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch now. A swing and a fouled back. Well, for Baltimore, on the other hand, I most definitely did not consider them a contender this year. And I know we still have the rest of July, August, and September baseball to play. This is a swing and a miss, and out number 2 goes down. Second strikeout for Rodriguez as 2 away. Well, Baltimore's kind of made a surprising run. They're one of the teams, and it feels like every year you have 1 or 2 teams that you look at and you're like, oh, they catch your eye. And I was like, Seattle was it last year. There's a pitch. It's up high. In there, called for a strike, though. Mookie Betts is up. He flew out back in the first. And, Arizona's one of those teams who's still in it right now. We're going to find in the dog days who's really going to contend. That's up high, called for a strike. Betts down 0-2 now. 2 away, nobody on here in the top of the third inning. And I would consider this a Baltimore, Arizona, Cincinnati's in that conversation. This is chop foul. Orioles dugout on the right side of the home plate. And, it makes this pretty interesting. And, a lot of these players, they're young players, are coming up through the system. They're getting, a crack at major league level all for the first time. This one's way outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. But I think, that's the way you think of it. For me, you got nothing to lose and you have all to gain. Swing and a miss, down Betts, and a 1-2-3 inning go the Orioles as they are up 3-0 as we head to the bottom of third on the TNC Sports Talk YouTube channel. play as your favorite star and lead your own team to the World Series in October. Get your MLB The Show 23 today. Available on PlayStation, Xbox. First pitch in to Ryan O'Hearn. It's up high for a ball inside. Here's the 1-0. That's in there. Called for a strike, 1-1. Bottom of the third inning. Orioles up front, 3-0. Couple runs in the first, second. Try to add some more to the damage. You can never have too many runs when you're facing the Dodgers. This is fouled off to the side. You know, we talk about some of the division about these two teams and the Dodgers and how the Orioles have come around. You got to be impressed by the Orioles. Young team, got really nothing to lose, but a lot to prove, a lot to gain, as they are only a game behind the Rays. This is fouled back. It's 1-2. And if the season would end today, Orioles will be the 4th seed, the first wild card team. And they would go on to take on the Toronto Blue Jays. That's a fouled back. And listen, the AL East is never an easy division. You have the Rays, who's been dominating. Toronto are just coming up players that, you know, are still trying to find their own. Boston seems to be always somewhat in the mix. And then the Yankees have this untouchable team in the American League. This is up high. 2 balls, 2 strikes to O'Hearn. And you kind of just, I guess, wonder, okay, well, where does Baltimore fit in? Well, right now they're in second place. So far, so good. They're handling their own. Here's the 2-2 pitch. This one's fouled off again. A nice battle. Pitch number 8 coming up for her. Making Sheehan, throw at his pitch count. Let me see where that's at. It's at number 52, so pitch number 53 on a 2-2 count. This one's down low in the dirt, full count. And I think there's a lot to learn, especially from a team maybe like Philadelphia last year in the postseason. A lot of simple baseball. Baseball, don't make it complicated. And this one's lined out to center, Outmain coming in, making the grab, one away. I feel like, baseball should be simple played. You don't need a lot of great talent. You don't need to have an untouchable salary cap. I mean, the Reds are doing it. They've been on a nice little run. Baltimore is doing it. Arizona is doing it. I know they don't have the stars and stripes to wear on their backs when it comes down to talent on that roster. We've seen teams in the past like the Astros and the Cubs go on to win World Series, and they didn't have, the $100 million payrolls like the Dodgers, Yankees. First pitch in there was called strike to Mountcastle. This one's down in the dirt away. It's 1-1 now, the count. And one away, nobody on. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That's outside. 2 balls and a strike. So then I think the bigger question is what do you do around this time if you're either team? Now, the Dodgers could go out there and sign players. This is swing foul. Count goes 2-2. You try to find the missing piece. I think the bigger question, to ask and to answer is what would the Orioles do? What do they need? I mean, you could probably always use another at bat, but why change what you don't, what's not broken? This one's fouled back again. And covering more of Cincinnati Reds and their baseball and following their season, one thing I've noticed that the Reds need, it's pitching, bullpen. You don't want your young stars getting eat up a lot of innings. This one's chopper down to third. Muncy grounds it. Quick toss over to first. 2 outs. You get a person, you get Their offense looks pretty solid. Yeah, you're going to have your good days and your bad days. And right now, it seems like Baltimore is that way. But I mean, and I haven't watched too much of Baltimore to really figure out what they need. But they're seeming to play really well baseball as of late. They've done something right. Here's the first pitch to Aaron Hicks, and they're called for a strike, 0-1. The Dodgers, on the other hand, I don't, they have a solid team. You could always just add bats and add depth. This one's in there, 0-2. 93-mile fastball. But, when you go talk comparisons between the Dodgers and the Orioles, in that sense, this one's fouled back, 0-2. You don't have that salary cap that you could really go attend someone. We talk about there's a guy out there like Shohei Ohtani, for example. Been reports lingering around that he may get traded before the deadline. Here's the 0-2. That's down to the dirt. It's 1-2. Do you trade Ohtani? If you're the Angels, do you trade Ohtani? That's the first and foremost question. But then who do you see the Ohtani going to? I mean, a lot of people will put in Reds uniform, Dodgers uniform. There's this one's inside. Didn't get the call. It's 2-2. You kind of play the hypothetical game of where could Ohtani go. You'd definitely be an impact on the ball club. Here's the 2-2 pitch. That's popped up foul. But who also are you willing to give away? Is there anyone on this lineup right now that you're willing to trade to get a solid pitcher right now or a solid at bat? Here's the 2-2 swing and a miss, and Hicks goes down on strikes. Second time of the night. After 3, Baltimore leads 3-0. You guys are listening to Major League Baseball here on the TNC Sports Talk YouTube channel. Top of the 4th inning, Dodgers down 3-0. Trivia question inning here on behalf for the Baltimore Orioles. First pitch in there, swing and a miss, called for a strike. Freddie Freeman due up. He grounded out to third base in his last at bat. 2-3-4 in this inning, due up for the Dodgers. Here's a pitch, it swings and a foul. It's 0-2. Rodriguez, so far so good. 3 innings, 3 strikeouts, no earned runs, only 2 hits allowed in 50 pitches. That's 50. It's coming up here in just a moment. Here's a pitch, and it's inside. Today's trivia, I'd like to give a shout out to usefultrivia.com for tonight's trivia for Baltimore and for the Dodgers. All your trivia's need. This is line on the right field side. Diving attempt is Frazier is going to get past him into right field for a base hit. So a leadoff single to get things started for the fourth. Something that the Dodgers do need if they are looking to get back into this game. And Frazier was just stumbling over there trying to get to it. Man, those plays aren't easy. I tell you that for sure. Will Smith, he's 1 for 1 with the single tonight. Here's the pitch. It's in there, called for a strike. We'll give it a moment. I'll tell you the trivia question, followed by 4 answers. You leave your answer down in the comment below. We'll reveal it at the bottom of the 4th inning. Lead off over there by Freeman. Here's the 0-1 pitch outside for a ball. Tonight's trivia question. Who was the first Oriole to hit 50 home runs in a season? Here's the 1-1 pitch. That gets away from Rutschman. Freeman runs up 90 feet. Throw attempt for none. Marking their wild pitch. And this, you talk about simple mindset of errors, games, something like this can really turn something around. And if you allow the Dodgers on this hand to take advantage, and they will take advantage of errors like this, that's why, most teams find themselves losing against the Dodgers. They take advantage. They love these type of situations, being that underdog, being that team that is down in the rut. It's down low. 2-2 the count to Will Smith. Who was the first Oriole to hit 50 home runs in this season? Was it A, Frank Robinson, B, Chris Davis, C, Jim Gentile, or D, Brady Anderson? Sets, fouls, tips off the foot. Repeat the question one more time. Who was the first Oriole to hit 50 home runs in a season? A, Frank Robinson, B, Chris Davis, C, Jim Gentile, or D, Brady Anderson? The answer will be revealed in the bottom half of inning number 4. Smith walking it off after a foul tip off the foot. So runners on second, nobody out here in the 4th inning. 2-2 to count. Max Muncy up next. He struck out. Smith singled in the first. Smith steps back into the box. Now, he doesn't have that shin guard on his shin guard on the front foot. He's definitely filling all of it, as most people do. He has that elbow guard, though. As Rodriguez sets pitches outside for a ball. And with these young pitchers, it could work either way. And, you kind of, it becomes self-discipline at this moment. And that's one thing you'll learn over time. It's how you approach these batters after, you allow a home run or you allow, a hit batter or an error or a mistake. You have to be able to bounce back, block all of that out. Here's the 3-2 pitch to Smith. And that's outside. And Smith gets on base with a walk. So with nobody out, Max Muncy's up here. You say, hey, Rodriguez, step off the mound, take a breather, clear your mind. Right now, don't even worry about who's on first, what's on second. Got to worry about Max Muncy because you're in the heart of the lineup and they will toy with you like there's no tomorrow. First pitch to Muncy, a swing chop foul along the right field side. 0-1. because a swing, and I mean, just a simple swing of a bat in this scenario will change the elements of the game. And make your defense or offense have to work twice as hard. This one's up high in there, called for a strike, 0-2. We'll see if that pass ball gets away from him. Does any damage to this inning. 2 on, nobody out. Top of the 4th inning. Here's the pitch. That's down in the dirt. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Rodriguez sets. Pitch number. Here's the pitch. This is flied out to right field. Santander steps up, a few steps back of the warning track, makes the grab. Freeman's heading all over to third. He'll be in there standing up. As now with 1 away, runners on the corners. And this is a nice, nice play, nice timing from Santander. Knowing that you're going to get to the warning track if you keep on going, just shy of the warning track there. Nice little sacrifice fly for Muncy. And not really doing well. Hey, get the runners over. And now an opportunity for J.D. Martinez. Batting .257 on the season, 23 home runs. Here's a pitch. This is lined right past the shortstop into left field. Freeman's coming in to score. And we'll see Smith head up to second as the Dodgers get on the board. This was a nice little four-seam fastball down the middle. Martinez just cracks one past Henderson there at short. Nice little effort made by Henderson. Just couldn't get to it. A little timing off, a bad bounce. Rolls right into left field, and one of the runs, it's back in. Now we have a mound visit due up. Nice little RBI for Martinez. Could almost feel as if maybe this is a, for Baltimore, a lot of these scenarios, a lot of these games coming up can be more viewed as playoff atmosphere games. I know that all this week you have the Dodgers in town for 3 games. You're heading on the road this weekend to Tampa Bay, and that's going to be fun. Is a pitch is fouled back to David Peralta, 0-1. 1 away, 2 on. And one thing, maybe a relief, a sigh of relief, a sigh of breather is that you don't have to face your division as much as you used to back in previous years with the new, you're playing all of the 29 teams at some point of the season. That means less divisional games. Here's the pitch that's inside. It's 1-1. So if you're, Baltimore, it's nice. You don't have to deal with the Yankees or the Red Sox, 5-6 times a season. This one stayed in front of Rutschman at home plate. It's 2 balls, 1 strike. One out, runners on first and second. 3-1 Orioles lead here in the top of the 4th inning. Here's a pitch, chopped her right down to Frazier at second. Backhands it to Henderson at short, over to first, and he's safe. Not in time, but a nice attempt from Henderson. Well, Peralta shows he still has speed. That was a nice slow bouncer to second. Frazier takes his time backhanding, a little slow there. After replay, Peralta definitely beat the out. I just think the transition from second to short took a little long. Plus with Peralta's speed. So that's a 4-6 put out in that sense. Here's a pitch. This one's lined to second to Frazier. He'll throw it over to first, and that will conclude the side here. Orioles get out of a damage, leaving a couple men on, allowing one run. Orioles had the lead, 3-1, halfway through the fourth inning here on the TNC Sports Talk YouTube channel. We're here in the bottom of the fourth inning as the first pitch is in there inside for a ball to Colton Cowser, 7-8-9. He walked back in the second inning. Orioles up 3-1. This one's in there called for a strike, 1-1. We have our trivia question presented to you thanks to Useful Trivia. Who was the first Oriole to hit 50 home runs in the season? We'll give you the answer here in this bottom half of the inning. This one's hit just foul. The options were A, Frank Robinson, B, Chris Davis, C, Jim Gentile, or D, Brady Anderson. You guys can lock your answers in the comment section. I see Akeem Reed says Brady Anderson. This one's fouled back. It's 1-2 again. So we'll see if he's correct. We'll give you the answer here in just a moment. I'll try it. I'll try that answer. Nobody on, nobody out. Here's the 1-2. This one's hit another fouled ball back. Here's the 1-2 pitch. It's inside. Called for a ball. 2 balls, two strikes. And here's the 2-2 pitch. This one's hit fly ball out to left field. Coming over to the right is David Peralta. And he'll make the grab for 1 away. Give a few more seconds. Allow people to lock in their answers. Who was the first Oriole to hit 50 home runs in a season? A, Frank Robinson. B, Chris Davis. C, Jim Gentile. or D, Brady Anderson? And I don't know. I mean, I really do try to play these games very fairly. I don't really. You see a Frank Robinson, I would consider him. This one's lined to short. I'll throw over to first in time for out number 2. I'm going to go ahead and go with Hakeem's answer there with Brady Anderson. And he has it correct. And I'll tell you the information here in a second. As Adam Frazier is up with 2 away, nobody on. Baltimore's outfielder Brady Anderson went into the final game of the 1996 season with 49 home runs. Here's the first pitch, up high and in, called for a ball. In his first at bat, he hit his 50th homer off a Cy Young Award winner Pat Hentgen. Here's the 1-0 pitch. This is lined to second. That's over to first, and that's a 1-2-3 inning. Breaking Frank Robinson's record for most home runs in a season by a Baltimore Oriole, Anderson record would be broken in 2013 by Chris Davis, who hit 53 home runs. So the record held by Frank Robinson, broken and set the new record by Brady Anderson, and then Chris Davis broke the record in 2013. So congratulations to Akeem Reed, who picked that correctly. We'll come on back in the 8th inning for the Dodgers trivia question. 1, 2, 3 in the 4th. After 4, Orioles up front, 3-1. Summertime is here. It is baseball season underway. Just past of the All-Star break, back in of the regular season here. Dodgers Orioles, game 1 of a 3-game series in mid-July. First pitch, a half swing and a miss by Chris Taylor in there for a strike. It's 8, 9, and 1 due up. Taylor grounded to third, his last at bat. Here's the 0-1. It's in there, called strike. Be sure to tune us in on Wednesday night. Coverage starts at 6:30 between the Philadelphia Phillies and the Milwaukee Brewers. This one's hit third base side. Urias will get it. Throwing over to first and stumbling on the catch will be first baseman Ryan O'Hearn. Will not be able to get to it. He fumbled it, and Chris Taylor will be safe. It'll be considered as a throwing error for Baltimore from Urias, and he's been having some issues over there at third throughout tonight's game, and they're going to see if they want to challenge it. I don't think so. I mean, I wouldn't, but I mean, this was not a good throw. Urias was coming from third base, was moving to the to his left, and did O'Hearn had enough time with the ball to consider the out before he lost it? That's going to be the question. And it looks like Baltimore is going to challenge this play. Hmm. So it gets away. Did he get it in time? Did he have control of it? Okay, it was in his glove, but hmm. They are challenging it. And so it looks so Rushman did get it, and then O'Hara was able to, after a fumble, he ended up picking it up. So, matter of fact, the challenge was overruled. So the challenge on the field was that he was safe at first, and it was a fielder's error. After the challenge, it was overturned. Taylor grounds out to third for one away. And that's actually a big help and a big relief for Baltimore. Stepping in is James Outman. Well, half swing in there for a called strike. Ground to 5. That's why when you keep score, my friends, always do it in pencil or be very cautious before pinning into something. They always change it in the middle of the game. This one's on the outside plate. It's 1-1. Outman struck out swinging back in the third inning. Here's the 1-1 pitch that's on the outside. Here's the 2-1 outside again. It's 3 balls and 1 strike. We'll take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard here over the next 2 innings and the upcoming standings as games are underway in Major League Baseball this afternoon. I was in there for a called strike. 3 balls, 2 strikes, full count. Take a look at the scores and what's going on around the league. Here's the 3-2 swing and a miss. Out number 2 as Outman goes down on strikes for the second time tonight. Nice little 97-mile fastball. Got him up high and away. And we're back to the top of the lineup, Mookie Betts. Here's the first pitch to Betts. It's in there, called for a strike. Now, this is where you play risky baseball here as you go through the lineup for the third time. But why? You're going through 5 innings, and so far, so good coming out of Rodriguez. It's a swing and a miss. Here's the pitch. This is line drive into left center field, getting down to the center fieldman. Aaron Hicks will get it, throw it over to second as Mookie Betts tries, and he's called out after diving into second base. Coming up late, nice play by Hicks to second, and a nice sweeping tag to get the out. Betts base hit single, trying into 2 will end the inning. We're halfway through the ball game as the Orioles up 3-1. You guys are listening to Major League Baseball here on the TNC Sports Talk YouTube channel. Bottom of the 5th inning here. Baltimore's up 3-1 as we have the top of the lineup due again for Emmett Sheehan, who is 1, 2, and 3, who's in pitch number. You'll be approaching. It's getting up high there. I'm going to tell you in a second. Pitch number 78 is up high for a ball, 1-0. Gunnar Henderson, who's 1 for 2. He RBI tripled back in the 2nd inning. Here's the pitch outside for another ball. Out of town scoreboards given to you thanks to MLB.com. Head on over to the MLB.com website to check out your favorite teams, get the news, highlights, and scores, clue standings, and much more on MLB.com. It's one outside. 3 balls, no strikes for Henderson, trying to get something going here in the 5th inning. One's in there, called for a strike. So much historic history at Camden Yards. Changing of the dynamic of the fields. This one's hit. Fly ball out to right field. Back to the warning track is Hayward, and he'll make the grab on the wall of the fence for 1 away. Well, kick things off. End of 3 innings for Cleveland and Pittsburgh as they headed to the 4th inning scoreless. Wilmer Flores just had himself a nice knock to give the Giants a lead 2-1 in the top of the 6th at Great American Ballpark. First pitch in there to Aldi Rutschman in a quiet night, 0 for 1. In there for a ball inside. Here's the 1-0 count. This one's hit. Line drive out to right field, going back to the wall, and that's going to be off the fence. And first base umpire is calling it for a home run. That hit off the top of the wall, and that little black fence that keeps the fans from, I guess, coming over in that sense. A solo home run. Baltimore extends their lead to 4-1 now. This was a pitch just down and in. Nothing much to it. Right off the wall. You can clearly see it. 108-mile exit velocity. 363 distance. His number 13th of the season. His first pitch to Santander is outside for a ball. 1-0. This one, it's up high. 2 balls, no strikes to Santander, who is 1 for 2, or 0 for 2 in this sense. He scored back in the first. It's a swing and a miss. It's 2 balls and a strike. The Marlins and Cardinals are tied at 1 apiece, bottom of the 3rd inning. Nationals have a 2-0 lead over Chicago. This is outside. 3 balls and 1 strike to Santander. Pitch number 89 coming up. We'll see how long Dave Roberts wants to keep Sheehan in. Here's a pitch. This is fouled back. It's 3-2. Ryan O'Hearn up next. He's 1 for 2 with the single in the first. Tampa Bay Rays currently lead 2-0 over the Rangers in Arlington, bottom of the 2nd inning. Here's the 3-2. That's outside for ball 4. So with a run out, with one out and a run already in, a walks up for Ryan O'Hearn, as we will get a mound visit. Bottom of the second inning in Kansas City, as Kansas City and Detroit tied at 0 apiece. Game's coming up a little later on tonight. In about an hour and 8 minutes from this point, the Yankees and Angels. Luis Severino will take on Canning. 9:40, we'll see the Red Sox take on the Oakland Athletics. Bernardino, left-handed pitcher for Boston, will take on Paul Blackburn. And then the final game of tonight's series, game one, Minnesota Twins and the Seattle Mariners. Out of town score. We'll talk about the standings and the wild card spots. It's first pitch to O'Hearn is up high, ball one. So a runner on first, one away for the number 4 spot here in Baltimore's lineup. Here's the 4-1 pitch. Here's the 1-0 pitch. This is popped up, shallow right field. Coming in is Hayward, as Betts couldn't find it in the lights. 2 away. You know what? And the bullpen's working, of course. But you get out of this jam, you go 5 solid innings, only giving up 4 runs, and, being for the Dodgers. One thing the Dodgers, these young players are going to learn, especially in LA, it's you're going to go through these type of scenarios. And you're going to have to tough it out and play through them. And here's the first pitch. They fouled back to the brick wall back there to Ryan Mountcastle. Yeah, you get nights like this. I mean, sometimes you have to just, you pay your dues. And Kershaw wasn't perfect from every single outing. Here's the 0-1 pitch. This is a fly ball out to left field. A few steps over for Peralta. He'll make the grab. A solo home run off of Aldi Rutschman extends the Orioles lead 4-1. Runners left on. We played 5 here on the TNC Sports Talk YouTube channel. First pitch in there, top of the 6th inning. Called for down low for a ball. Here's the 1-0 pitch. This is popped up out to center field, going back to the warning track, jumping up and almost making the catch is Aaron Hicks. Losing it on the way down, running over to third, helmet falls off, coming up, standing up is Freddie Freeman. He legs out a triple to lead off the fifth inning. This was a spectacular play, and if it wasn't deflected by Aaron Hicks, who almost had it, he had it in his glove up in the air. This would have been it would have been off the wall. I think this would have been off the wall if he didn't, nothing happened, but he almost made the grab. As he collided with the wall, the ball got loose and away. So runner on third, first pitch in there to Will Smith is a foul back to the screen. A single and a walk. And Freeman, who's standing on third, has the opportunity to score the Dodgers' second run of the game. Scored the first one back in the fourth. This one gets away from Rutschman, keeps it in front of him. 1 ball, 1 strike. Dodgers trying to claw back, being down 4-1. Here's the pitch. It's lined right through the gap of the left field side. Freeman will trot on in. Coming into second, staying in at first is going to be Smith. And one of those runs have gotten back. Now they're down 4-2. Nice little RBI single there. Well, this is a nice little ball hit. Just splitting the gap between short and third. Freeman knows it. Playing simple, fundamental baseball, I believe. A mound visit here as we take a look a little bit into the updated standings for both of these ball clubs. For the American League East, Tampa Bay currently has the best record in the American League, 60-36. They're 3-7 over the last 10 games with a 1-game losing streak. They're currently in progress in Texas. The Baltimore Orioles, although they're 57-35, they're only 1 game back. They're on an 8-2 record last 10 games, winning the last 8 games. Toronto is going to be home to the Padres tomorrow, 53-41 with the 6 games back. As the first pitch is in there, down in the dirt for Max Muncy, ball 1. Boston and New York tied at 50-44, 4th and 5th place. Boston's on an 8-2 nice little streak over the last 10. This is in there, called for a strike, 1-1 to Muncy. Will Smith's on first, nobody out. A run scored already this inning. Baltimore had a good first half last season, kind of fell apart towards the end. Didn't make the playoffs. Looking to change that this year. They believe they have it. This one's fell back to the screen. They keep a comfortable distance right now with Toronto, and they still are pretty much in the hunt for first place in the AL East. Seems like every several years, Baltimore seems to be fighting in the division. Then they look to reset their team, always built with a young set of guys. Here's the 1-2. That's down on the dirt. Gets away from Rutschman. 90 move, advancing to second to Smith. Wild pitch. These ones are just getting away. Both catchers seem to have trouble keeping the ball in front of them. So a runner on second, nobody out. It's a 2-2 count to Muncy, who's 0-2 for the night. He struck out and flew out so far tonight's game. This one's down to the dirt. He's worked himself to a full count. Dodgers are 260, batting 265 with runners in scoring position. So far, 2 for 5 in tonight's ball game. Here's the 3-2. That one's up high, and Muncy draws a walk. And here comes a manager and another mound visit, matter of fact. We'll see what happened here. That's going to do it for Grayson Rodriguez. We'll tell you about the new pitcher coming up. With runners on, Dodgers still down 4-2 here on the TNC Sports Talk YouTube channel. New pitcher for the Baltimore Orioles, as we're going to ask Brian Baker to come out and keep this game where it's at. Brian Baker, 3-2 on the record so far this season, 3.52 ERA in 41 games. He's punched out 47. Last pitched on yesterday, July 16th. First pitch in there. Popped up, foul ball to J.D. Martinez. He went 2/3 of an inning against Miami. So here's the situation that we're in. Baker comes in. This one's down low for a ball. We have Muncy on first, Smith on second. Freeman scored in earlier, and J.D. Martinez is in. Now, he's 1 for 2. He singled and had an RBI back in the 4th inning, scoring in Freeman. This one's outside, 2 balls, 1 strike. And so he's looking to ground into a double play or something like that, in a sense. Here's the 2-1. This is hit. Fly ball out to center field. Moving over to his left is Aaron Hicks. At the warning track, he makes the grab. Smith tags at second, heads over to third, standing up. Now they're 2 down. Muncy will stay at first. Nice little sacrifice fly. Just a couple more inches, I would have been gone. Got David Peralta coming up. Baker's right-handed, 28-year-old from Fort Walton Beach, Florida. Drafted in 2016 by the Colorado Rockies. Went to North Florida college. Debuted September 5th, 2021. First pitch is in there, called for a strike to David Peralta. 1-for-2. He singled. Jumped into a ground ball, 4-6, replacing Martinez at first back in the fourth. This one's on the outside. It's 1-1. Runners on corners, one away. Another sacrifice fly can send in Will Smith. We'll see if anything flies out to the outfield. He'll send them. Here's a pitch, hit, fly ball out to the left center field. Hicks comes in, unders it, and makes the grab. Smith will hold up at second. Muncy back at first. And an opportunity to get out of this jam. This is a huge jam you get out of, which is a great defensive position. Let's tip your cap to Aaron Hicks, who positioned himself correctly. This was coming in a little shallow, but if you let your left fielder get to it, now you get Kowser into to get it, then Smith may challenge. But Hicks already coming into that motion. What a great decision. Runners on corners, 2 outs. First pitch is in there, called for a strike. This will hopefully bring some confidence to the Orioles. They can get out of this jam heading into the bottom half of the inning. So only keeping it 4-2. Here's the pitch. It's in there, called for a strike. 0-2 for Jason Hayward. Hayward's 0-for-2 tonight. Talking about some other standing notables, Atlanta Braves are 61-31 so far. Best record of the National League, best record of Major League Baseball. Here's the 0-2. That's up high and out. High and away, excuse me. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Man, Miami's holding their fort down also this year after the All-Star break. 53-42, 9.5 games back, but they're in second place. Also in position for a wild card spot. This is fouled back. Cincinnati, as we mentioned, 50-44. 2 games back of Milwaukee for the early month of July. Back end of June, they were holding down the first place position. They just brought up a top prospect of Christian Encarnacion Strand to the majors. Here's the pitch that's up high. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Ellie De La Cruz was brought up about a month ago. Since then, the Reds have kind of put all the pieces together. Votto returns. Got swept by the Brewers, but they feel really confident. Here's the pitch that's down low. Hayward's worked himself to a full count. Muncy on first, going to be running. Smith will go on any contact there. Trying to get out of this inning. Here's the payoff pitch. It's down low, ball 4. Hayward walks. And that calls up Chris Taylor, who's 0-for-2. Dodgers seeing some light at the end of the tunnel. Hopefully, a 2-out knock could help tie this game. You got Smith on third, Muncy on second, Hayward on first. 2 outs in a 4-2 ball game. Here's the first pitch. Swing and a foul back. Career with bases loaded. He's batting .298. 5 grand slams on his career. For Chris Taylor, here's the 0-1. This is another off the tip of the bat there. He's quickly down 0-2. You look at right now the NL Central, Cardinals 40 and 53, 11 and a half games back. Definitely turned the cheek this season. Trade deadline's coming up. Here's the 0-2 pitch. This one's fouled. Nice at bat so far from Chris Taylor. 0-2 the count, bases loaded, 2 outs. Some of these teams have to decide where they're sitting at on the standings. If this is going to be, we're going to unload our roster and trade some away, or are we going to kick up some key players because we have a chance? Baltimore's in one of those questions. Here's a foul back to the screen. We'll replay 0-2. So far, we had a fastball, a slider, fastball, fastball. Here's the 0-2. This one's hit. Fly ball out to left center field. Going back, and that's gone. Grand slam by Chris Taylor. 13th home run on the season. Puts the Dodgers out in front 6-4. A 104-mile exit velocity, 416 feet the distance. This was an all-foul ball. He was ready to swing at anything, and this one was hanged up on the upper outside of the plate, clearing the bases. What a big at-bat. Stepping in is James Outman, who comes in 0-2, takes the first pitch outside for a ball. Just like that, a swing of the bat, the game has been changed. Outside, up high, ball 2. And now the 8th batter is in the plate right now. 2 balls, no strikes. This one's down low, 3-0. 5 runs across. A triple from Freddie Freeman. Later scored in by Will Smith off of an RBI single. A walk to Max Muncy. 2 flies out to Aaron Hicks. Thought we'd get out of the jam. And then a walk to Jason Hayward and a grand slam by Chris Taylor. Here's a foul off. So there's 3 balls, 1 strike to Outman. Now Baltimore looks to get back in the bottom half of this inning and try to find some runs. This has popped up in the infield for shortstopper Gunnar Henderson. Left side of the field, he'll make the grab. Well, the damage has been done. Dodgers score in 5, taking a lead 6-4. We head to the bottom of the 6th inning here on the TNC Sports Talk YouTube channel. Bottom of the sixth inning. And this is how that run kind of came about. 5 runs in the top half of the sixth inning. Freddie Freeman, triple RBI single by Will Smith. And then a walk to Max Muncy, a walk to Jason Hayward. Chris Taylor hit a grand slam. That's 5 runs on 3 hits. And now the Dodgers have a 6-4 lead, which changes the entire complexity of how this ball game gets played. The Dodgers will ask Yency Almonte, 29-year-old right-hander, to come out. He's 3-1 on the season, 5.02 ERA in 39 games, 37 strikeouts. Last pitched last night, he went 1 inning, striking out 1 batter. From Miami, Florida, 2012 draft pick from the Dodgers. Made his debut in 2018. As Aaron Hicks steps in. It'll be done for Emmett Sheehan. We'll give you numbers here in a moment. That's in there, called for a ball. So Grayson Rodriguez, he went 5 innings, giving up 7 hits. He allowed 4 runs, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts. This one's hit lined over the head of Betts in second. We'll get down to right field to lead off the bottom of the 6th inning. And I say, if you're Baltimore, you're on this 8-game hitting streak, which is on the line. You want to, just start off by a simple base hit. A boop and a blast. You're only 2 runs down. You just worry about getting into the Dodgers bullpen as time slowly creeps not in favor. Colton Cowser steps in, first pitch outside for a ball. Baker comes in. He goes 1 inning, giving up 1 hit, 2 runs, 1 walk. We'll see. I don't think he'll come back out of it afterward. This one's in the dirt at the feet of Cowser. 2 balls, no strikes. For Sheehan, he went 5 innings, giving up 5 hits, 4 runs, allowing 3 walks and 2 strikeouts and 1 home run. Pickoff attempt at first, going back in, standing up. Is there any way you could adjust to playing this ball game if you're Baltimore? Giving up 5 runs in 1 inning, the lead. I say just 1 batter at a time. Here's a 2-0. This one's down in the dirt. 3 balls, no strikes. A sweeper fast sequence. This one's in there called strike. 3 balls, 1 strike. Urias up next. 1 for 2. Here's the 3-1. This one's hit right to first at Freeman. He'll throw it over to short at second at Taylor. Back to first. It's a 6-3 double play. And the bases are now clear for Ramon. Take a look at the Dodgers division in the NL West for a bit. They lead 53-39. They're 7-3 in the last 10 games. They have a 1.5 game lead over San Francisco. First pitch to Urias. It's up high, called for a strike. 0-1. San Francisco's 52-41. They're about a half a game ahead in the playoff race. Arizona 52-42. They are 2 games out. It's 0-2 now to Urias. The Padres, who were probably expected at the beginning of the year to kind of be on top of this division a little bit more, signing that extension to Machado. They got Soto, Bogarts. They're sitting in 4th place. 6 games under 500, 10 games out of the division. Swing and a miss for Urias, who goes down on strikes. And it's a 1-2-3, bottom half of the sixth for the Dodgers as they lead 6-4 here on the TNC Sports Talk YouTube channel. We're headed into the seventh inning. Back to the top of the lineup for the Dodgers, 1, 2, and 3, as they almost batted around last inning. Dodgers, 6 runs, 8 hits, no errors for the Orioles. 4 runs, 6 hits, no errors. New pitcher for Baltimore, as they will call on right-hander Mike Baumann, 27-year-old out of Minneapolis, excuse me. Drafted by the Orioles back in 2017, 6-0 on the year, 3.92 ERA in 41 games and 46 strikeouts. Last pitched on July 7th. He went a third of an inning, giving up 1 hit and 1 walk allowed. Be sure to tune in to the throw-in returning Monday. Next Monday, the throw-in returns. Justin talking all about local Cincinnati sports, professional baseball, football, wrestling, and more. This one's grounded to Henderson at short for out number 1. 1 pitch, 1 gone. It's been a nice break that I've had last couple of months. Time to get back to it. Baseball season is about to start. College and pro NFL. Freddie Freeman steps up. He's 2 for 3, tripled and 2 runs in tonight's ball game. He's on the first pitch is on the outside for a ball. We will also be back Wednesday night, 6:30, for a pregame show. This one's fouled back between the Philadelphia Phillies and the Milwaukee Brewers. You guys are looking for that ball game? Tune us in right here on the TNC Sports Talk YouTube channel. If you haven't done so already, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Have those notifications on and don't miss a single episode. This one's fouled back. It's 1-2 to Freeman. Dodgers took the lead in the 6th, thanks to a Chris Taylor grand slam. And how can you get better than that? And that can be really the game changer of how this game concludes this afternoon. This one's fouled back to the screen there. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Talked a little bit about the NL West. Colorado finished right now in last place, 18 games out of first, 36th and 58. Can't compare. This one's fouled off again. A good at bat from Freddie Freeman there. Colorado currently has the worst record in the National League, followed by the Washington Nationals with 37 wins. St. Louis Cardinals comes in just right behind them. The Oakland Athletics only have 25 wins compared to the Kansas City Royals have 27. Their worst records in baseball year round. This one's down low. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Freeman. And it's Oakland has they're 30 and a half games back. The longest games back of a division. 25 and 70. Think about another 11 more games. Here's the pitch. This one's hit. Diving first baseman O'Hearn can't get to it. It's going to end up in the corner of right field. Coming around second is Freeman, and he'll have a stand-up double. His 33rd on the year. A nice diving play by Ryan O'Hearn at first. Gets by him. Gets tangled up in the corner for Santander, excuse me. And Will Smith is up. He scored in Freeman last inning with an RBI single. He walked and a run, 2 for 2 today. And not to get nothing a little, crazy, but Freeman, single, double, triple, home run shy of a cycle. Nice to see a cycle in this game, huh? Knowing me, I'm going to jinx something. I'm going to knock on wood there. Mound visit here as Will Smith steps up. If the playoffs would begin today, Tampa Bay will hold the best record in the American League. We'll have the first round bye. Texas will have the second round bye. First pitch up high, 1-0. Minnesota will have the third seed. Baltimore will be hosting Toronto as they have the 4th seed followed by the 5th seed there. And they have a nice little gap, about 4 or 5 games. And then Houston has a 2-game lead over Boston and New York, where it's contending. So Houston would then play Minnesota. Seattle and Los Angeles. Seattle's 5 games back of the wild card. Angels 6 games back. There's a pitch is in there called first strike, 1-1. Then Cleveland is 6.5 games back. Detroit is down there, but everyone else is 10 games back or greater. Oakland is 27.5 games back of the wild card alone. Here's the 1-1. This is down low, 2 balls, 1 strike. For the National League, Atlanta Braves, best record of all of baseball, will get the first round bye with 61 and 31. Dodgers, 53-39. Milwaukee currently has the NL Central after taking it over, sweeping the Reds past weekend. Here's the 2-1. This is chop foul, 2-2. The Giants hold that first seed wild card, would be hosting Miami Marlins. They both have about a half a game lead stretch over Arizona. They're both in live. San Francisco is in Cincinnati. Miami's in St. Louis. Arizona has that half a game lead over Philadelphia for that third wild card spot. This pitch is outside. So Smith has worked himself to a 3-2 count. And contending wise, the Reds are 2 games back. The Padres are 8, shows the Cubs, and the Mets are 8.5. Pirates are 10.5, and so forth. But the Rockies being 16 back. This one's hit. Rounded to second for Frazier. Over to first for O'Hearn. He'll make the grab. Freeman will advance 90 feet to third. And it will be 2 away. We're going to get a pitching change here, as that will be it for Mike Baumann. We'll tell you all about the new pitcher, Nick Vespi, when we come on back. 6-4, Dodgers lead, top of the 7th on the TNC Sports Talk YouTube channel. Left-handed pitcher Nick Vespi asked to come out and take care of business against Max Muncy. You have a runner on third with 2 gone here in the top of the 7th inning. Vespi's 27 years old from Miami, Florida. First pitch up high. 2015 draft pick from the Baltimore Orioles. College went to Palm State Beach. Debuted in last season, May 20th. Here's the 1-0. This one swing and a miss, and the ball down to the dirt and away. It's 1-1. He has a 4.5 ERA so far this season. In 4 games, he's pitched 6 2/3 and striking out 6 batters. Last pitch on July 9th. He went one inning. Here's the pitch. This one's down to the dirt. You would almost say maybe one of the reasons to the Dodgers' success this evening, which took a little longer than the beginning of the game, has been because of the lefty-righty matchups. Here's the 2-1. This is grounded to second for Frazier. Running back over to first is Hearn, and that will do it for the side. The Dodgers strand a runner on third. 7th inning stretch at Camden Yards. Get up and stretch. As they saying, take me out to the ball game. We'll be right back. You guys are listening to Major League Baseball here on the TNC Sports Talk YouTube channel. Bottom half of the 7th inning, Dodgers up front 6-4. As we will see Jordan Westberg come in, replacing Adam Frazier, pitch hitting for Adam Frazier. It will be 9-1-2 trying to get something going for the left-handed pitcher Alex Versailles, 27-year-old left-hander from Alpine, California, drafted by the Miami Marlins in 2018, went to Cal State East Bay. He's 0 for 4 so far with the 6.17 ERA in 28 games. He has 36 strikeouts, last pitched on the 16th, which is yesterday, went 1 inning. Worth the play. The first pitch to Restberg, it's fouled back. This is how the lefty-righty matchups start playing. A mound visit to begin the inning here. Here's a pitch. Swing, foul. Into the stands there. 1 ball, no balls, 2 strikes. Restberg batting .250, no home runs on the season. 9 more outs for the Orioles here to go. They were leading most of the game. This one's on the inside, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Very warm day at Camden Yards. You can see it all over everyone, the sweat. There's a pitch fouled back, 1 ball, 2 strikes again. The Orioles have a 8-game winning streak on the line. Here's the 1-2 swing and a miss. And the first out of the 7th inning belongs to a strikeout. This was nice. Caught him up inside. Had a choke on it. On the way. As I mentioned, Orioles are one of the surprising teams. You look at this, looking at a team that had a good impression. First pitch is in there for a ball. You look at teams who surprise you halfway through the season that you don't quite expect to being all that well, or in a division you should be much tougher than the other. Here's the 1-0 pitch, swing and a miss, or this one's fouled back. 1-1. And the Orioles is one of them. But I think the bigger question is not being so much surprised about their success so far this season. 0-2 pitch outside. It's about how can they complete the season, because that's one thing that I think for most they struggle on doing. Last year they were kind of in the hunt, were they not? And then they just kind of started wailing away second half of the season. This one's down low. Two balls, 2 strikes. Rutschman up on deck. Here's the 2-2 pitch. This one's grounded to Betts at second. Throwing over to first, and out number 2 is put away. This is going to be a good series. Already been told so far. Home run by Aldi Rutschman back in the 5th inning. Like to maybe repeat it. Be down by 1. Cut away at the deficit so far, but it's been fun so far calling this game, and just tell you what tomorrow, Wednesday, beholds. The first pitch in there called for a strike. if you get a chance to watch Baltimore and Los Angeles, I'd recommend doing so. Here's the pitch, this swing, and a miss. Strike two. Watchman with the home run derby. Had 27 home runs in the first round. Did not make it. Congratulations to Vladimir Guerrero Jr. for winning the home run derby. No balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Foul back. National League finally beat the American League. I grew up on the National League side of the thing. So every year you always see American League win. You're just shaking your head. It's like, man, American League really that much better than us? But they are. This one's inside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And when National League finally comes away with the victory, you're like, yippee. What can you say? Here's the 1-2 in there. Caught looking, caught him up right where that last pitch was that was called a ball. A fired Garcia. We head to the 8th. The Dodgers up front, 6-4 here on the TNC Sports Talk YouTube channel. Jordan Westburg stays in the game as he will replace Todd Frazier there at second, as we will have Martinez, Peralta, and Hayward due up here in the 8th inning, trying to add to their lead. Six more outs to go for the Dodgers, and they'll pick up a victory. First pitch is in there, called for a strike for JD Martinez. We look at tomorrow's matchup, 7:05 first pitch, Eastern Standard Time. This one's on the outside corner, down low, called for a strike. 0-2 now, the count to Martinez. Vespi stays in the game as he's pitching his second innings of work. Here's the 0-2 down in the dirt. And Michael Grove will get the nod on the mound. He's 1 for 2 for the Dodgers, 6.89 ERA. Swing and a miss. 1 out here at the top of the 8th inning. Baltimore will have Tyler Wells, 7-4 on the season, 3.18 ERA. They'll conclude the 3-game series on Wednesday, 1:05 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Dodgers will have Julio Urias, 7-5, 4.35, taking on Baltimore Orioles, Dean Kramer, 10-4 with a 4.59 ERA. As there's a mound visit to check on Vespi. And to probably replace, but to talk things over, as we will have Jake Marisnick replacing David Peralta. He'll be done for the night. 3 at-bats, no runs, 1 hit, and no RBIs. A little game plan here. And we will get to you the Dodgers trivia question coming up here in this 8th inning. First pitch is down low for a ball. Dodgers trivia question given to you by Useful Trivia. Usefortrivia.com, where you can get all your trivia question and answer needs. This one's down low and in. Two balls, no strikes. Here's the pitch. Ground, chop, foul. 2 balls, 1 strike. I'll take you back to the early days of Dodger baseball. Years ago. This one's up high. 3 balls, 1 count, 1 strike. Jason Hayward up next. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. 3-2. One out, nobody on. 3-2 pitch. This one's hit. Fly ball out to right field, coming in and going back. No one's going to be able to get to it. Base hit for Marisnick as he tries to get something going here in the 8th inning. Well, you're not going to get Westberg to get to it, and Santander didn't quite get to it. So, runner on first with 1 gone for now. Miguel Rojas, who's replacing Jason Hayward. First pitch. And Marisnick takes off, throws over to second in time. There's a ball outside, a nice pop up off your feet. Marisnick, a little late jump start. A nice firing catch, 2 away. Dodgers trivia question: in which round of the MLB draft did the Dodgers pick 1969 National League Rookie of the Year Ted Sizemore? As this one's in there, called for a strike. Is it A, 7th round, B, 1st round, C, 3rd round, or D, 15th round? This is popped up in first base, shallow right, as Hearn makes the grab. Orioles come back, get to a 1-2-3 inning. I'll tell you the useful trivia question again. In which round of the MLB draft did the Dodgers pick the 1969 National League Rookie of the Year Ted Sizemore? Is it A, 7th round, B, 1st round, C, 3rd round, or D, 15th round? We'll tell you that when we come on back. Dodgers up front, 6-4 here on the TNC Sports Talk YouTube channel. Headed back to the bottom of the eighth inning. Let me do my best trying to give you defensive positions here. Jake Marisnick remains in the game as he plays center field. Miguel Rojas will also remain in the game as he plays shortstop. Defensive switch from shortstop to left field will be Chris Taylor. So he'll stay in the game and he'll just move to left field. That will replace David Peralta out there. And then defensive switch from center field to right field, James Otto. So he'll move over to right as Jason Hayward leaves. That is your defensive position change. Here's the first pitch to Anthony Santander. It's in there, called for a strike. With new Dodgers pitcher, right, left-handed pitcher, Caleb Ferguson, 27-year-old, drafted by the Dodgers back in 2014 from Columbus, Ohio. Here's the 0-1. That's inside. It's 1-1. Ferguson is 5-3 with a 2.62 ERA with 41 strikeouts. He pitched back on Saturday. He went 1 inning, giving up 1 hit, allowing 1 walk and 2 strikeouts. Here's the 1-1 pitch. This one's inside for a ball. A little defensive hiccup there. It's kind of hard. They all happen at once. Here's the 2-1. This is line to third. Throwing it over there is Muncy for out number 1. Round out to 5. Nice trivia question for the Dodgers here in the 8th inning was, in which round of the MLB draft did the Dodgers pick 1969 National League Rookie of the Year Ted Sizemore? Was it A, 7th round, B, 1st round, C, 3rd round, or D, 15th round? We'll give you an extra minute to answer that question in the comments below. As we have another an offensive substitution as pitch hitter Austin. We will have, excuse me, I can't see. Austin Hayes will replace first baseman Ryan O'Hearn. So he'll be done for the day. 1 for 3. This first pitch, it's in there, called for a ball. Down low. That's one thing I think when you look at the American League and how this Major League Baseball works and the strategy now, I get all confused. This one's fouled back. It's 1-1. You know, a lot of things could happen in 1 inning. And, you know, I mean, and listen, we're going to adjust to it. But the way I feel is that, you know, when we had the pitchers, right, you know, hitting, and you used the strategy of, all right, I'm going to replace my pitchers, whoever's pitch hitting with my pitcher. This one's fouled back as well. They're going to play defense, and I'll replace it with one of the position players. And then the pitcher slides into that spot. And when they go up again, and so for me, that was where I, you know, would consider things. Here's the 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss. And Hayes goes down on strikes. 2 away for Ryan Mountcastle, who was 1 for 3. The correct trivia question for the Dodgers tonight: which round of the MLB draft did the Dodgers pick 1969 National League Rookie of the Year Ted Sizemore? First round, I'm gonna go 7th round. Nope, got that wrong. First pitch outside for a ball. I tried 3rd round. I was also wrong. 15th round, the Los Angeles Dodgers selected Sizemore in the 15th round of the 1966 Major League Baseball draft. So if you guys played along and answered that question correctly, congratulations. As this one's up high and away. 2 balls, no strikes. And once again, want to give a shout out to Useful Trivia for providing trivia questions of needs in today's game. This one's bounced right back along the third base side. Ferguson will get it with third. The throw to first was way late, and it took the first baseman off the mound, off the plate. This was a nice just chopper down the third base side. No one was anticipating it. Muncy wasn't anticipating it. Caleb got to it, but then by the time he was able to make the throw, just wasn't no good. So this will be a base hit. Back to the mound. Stepping in is Hicks as he takes first pitch for a strike. Two away. Here's the 0-1 pitch in there, called for a strike. 95 fastball on the lower plate. Here's the 0-2. This one's fouled back to the brick wall back there. Some has padding. Some stadiums have the brick wall. Reminds me of Wrigley Field. I don't really know too many stadiums. I think St. Louis maybe has the brick wall back there in the backstop. It does play. Here's the 0-2. This one's popped up. Right field, back to the foul territory sign. In foul territory in that corner there, where you can barely see the right fielder, James Outman steps in, and he will make the grab. Well, a man is stranded, and after 8, we head to the 9th. Dodgers out front, 6-4, here on the TNC Sports Talk YouTube channel. We head to the top of the 9th inning at Camden Yard as we lead things off with Chris Taylor, who hit a grand slam. First pitch is hit there, lined right back up the middle for second baseman, throws it over to first and makes the grab for out number 1. Couple of defensive position changes as well. Let me try to best describe them to you. A defensive switch from right field to first base will be Anthony Santander. Austin Hayes will remain in the game in left field, and Colton Cowser will move from left to right as the first pitch in there to James Outman. is up high for a ball 1-0. Outman's 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts in tonight's game. Here's the pitch. This one's hit, and it's going to fall down into right field for a base knock. So with 1 out in the inning, we have 1 on. Be sure to tune in to the post-game show after the ball game. Get highlights, thoughts, final line stat numbers, also an out-of-town scoreboard update, and a look at what tomorrow holds between these two ball clubs. That is all in the post-game show right after the game. First pitch in there to... First pitch is in there for a called strike. This one's in the strike for Mookie Betts. Brazier is warming up in the Dodgers bullpen. A save opportunity. Vespe's back out there again past 2 innings, and this would really work well for the Orioles, even though you think about this. This is outside. It's 1-2. You think about the... All right, you want to keep the winning streak alive. All good things come to an end, but there's a pitch up high, 2-2. You get out of this inning, and you can get yourself, only using 2 pitchers, maybe 3, right? I mean, you'd save yourself a lot on the bullpen, especially in the upcoming games where you have 2 more against Los Angeles, and you also have a 4-game series against Tampa Bay. Great preserve. I'll give manager credit here. This is popped up in the infield for third baseman Ramon Urias, out number 2. Freddie Freeman due up. A runner on first, 2 outs. Freeman comes up. He is 3 for 4. He is a home run shy of a cycle. He's only hit the cycle twice in his career. He's already scored twice for the first 2 runs of the ball game for the Dodgers. This one is down low for a ball. One ball, no strikes. Here the pitch. This is outside and low. 2 balls, no strikes. We mentioned earlier, we'll be back again tomorrow. Wednesday night, 6:30. First pitch, 7:05 for Philadelphia and Milwaukee. This one swing and a miss for a strike, 1-2. A 6-4 isn't too bad against the Dodgers. You had a couple of mistakes in the 1 inning, but all the other innings seemed to be very, very well. This is it right back to Santander. Fumbles it a little bit, hangs on, and steps on the bag to make the last out of the inning. The last chance for Baltimore to do damage as they head to the bottom of the 9th inning, down by 2. Guys are listening to Major League Baseball here on the TNC Sports Talk YouTube channel. Last chance for the Orioles as they are trailing in this one 6-4. Bottom of the ninth inning as the Dodgers have right-handed pitcher Brian Brazier on the mound. His seasons with the Dodgers and the Red Sox. He's 1-0 with 30 games and 29 strikeouts. 35-year-old right-hander from Wichita Falls, Texas, drafted by the Angels back in the 2007 draft. Last game was yesterday where he went in for one inning, struck out one batter. Over the last 7 games, he's pitched 1.13 ERA in 7 games, pitching 8 innings, giving up 2 hits, 1 run, 2 walks, and 8 strikeouts. Looking to save things tonight as Colton Cowser steps in. First pitch in there called for a strike. He's 0 for 2 with a walk, scored in the second inning. The 4 runs were developed for the Orioles. A RBI double from Mountcastle back in the first, scoring in Sat Tender. A walk, a double to lead off the second. Adam Frazier RBI'd in Colton Cowser. And then you also had Henderson tripled for an RBI. Count goes 1-2 to Cowser. And then a solo home run by Rutschman in the 5th inning. That's the 4 runs Orioles wrote so far. This one's chopped foul. For the Dodgers, they scored in their first run of the game. Freddie Freeman walked in. A wild pitch, advancing 90 runs to third. J.D. Martinez RBI singled. And then Freeman did it again, leading things off in the 6th. A triple RBI to score him in, and a grand slam by Chris Taylor. This one's fouled off the foot of Hauser. So far, good at bat. Only down by 2. The Baltimore Orioles are still very much into this game. What I've noticed, a lot of games, a lot of teams are still into it. The last 27 outs. Never count them out. Anything could happen. Especially when you think of the Dodgers and you could put them back, bring them back down to the face of reality, face of, all the other teams and how they can, they're not much any special than what we are now. Fish is outside, it's 2-2. This is an Orioles team that's had success, as we mentioned here before, but they don't have the $50 million contract signings. This one's up and high. They don't have the Clayton Kershaws of the world or the Mookie Betts. They got similar guys, just not those guys. And definitely, like I mentioned earlier today, Baltimore's played in so many games. They have a tough division. The AL East is not a joke. No matter how good or how bad they are, Yankees always dominant. Blue Jays always dominant. And you see the change. So umpires getting together. Call it mound time. Oh, they're going to call it a balk. Dave Roberts out there now arguing. They actually called it for the time violation for the pitcher. So Colton Cowser ends up walking. Robert didn't really understand that. I was kind of at loss myself, and now you have Brazier getting the understanding from an umpire as well. I guess a violation wasn't a balk. It was a pitch violation, apparently. He was on the mound. I think he was on the mound. The time started, and he wanted a new ball. He didn't step off. This one's fouled back as Uyas steps up. So Cowser is on first. Interesting Ready to begin the bottom of the ninth. Here's the 0-1 pitch. This is in there. Called for a strike 0-2. Do you think a loss does anything for Baltimore? I don't know. One thing they can't do is allow this entire week, Dodgers and Rays, to get to them, right? There's something you can't do. This is outside. It's 1-2. I think you have to fight. If you could pull away 4-3 on the whole entire week, I think it's a win. One on, nobody out. 1-2 pitch. Checked its swing. Did it go around? That was too far low. Two and two. Pitch clock's under 5. Here's the pitch. This one's choppered right to short. Stepping on the bag himself is Miguel Rojas to throw it over to first. And double play. That's going to be a 6U and a 6-3 play. And the Orioles are down to their final out. Nice stretch out there by Freeman to make the grab. Giving that foot on the bag there. So it comes down to Jordan Westberg. First pitch check swings on the ball inside. Called for a strike. Be sure to tune into the post-game show coming up next. Here on the TNC Sports Talk YouTube channel. This one's fouled off. Orioles down to their last strike of the ball game. Here's the 3-2. This has popped up out to left field. Being under is Chris Taylor. Back to just shy of the warning track. And that will conclude the ball game. Well, the Dodgers had a 5-run 6th inning that said it all, thanks to a Chris Taylor grand slam. And the Dodgers picked up game 1 of this 3-game series. Final score 6-4. We'll come on back and give you our thoughts. You guys are listening to Major League Baseball right here on the TNC Sports Talk YouTube channel. Well, another one is in the books here in the middle of July. The Dodgers beat the Baltimore Orioles 6-4. And I think that this was a really well played game from both squads, to be honest. You had very young pitchers beginning the games. Both of them, I think, held their own, although I think Shahan, got into some damage early on, able to find himself getting out of the damage. And, when you get into that Dodger bullpen, this Dodgers team showed you just why they are still a force to be reckoned with. And no, they're not perfect. Yeah, they lead the division and they, lead the NL West. Shown to everyone that they don't have to be this dominant team, this best team to win ball games and to be where they're at. So, and they've had a good performance, and they displayed it through the talent from their bullpen, and they displayed it through their offensive abilities in that sixth inning, where they just took advantage, and Chris Taylor hit that grand slam, and that was out of here. I mean, even if that wasn't out of here, and that fell short, that gap between left and center field was so big. Taylor was going to clear the bases. So overall, good. I think it was a good game. Dodgers snapped the Orioles 8-game winning streak, so they'll have to go back to the drawing boards and try to figure things out again. But I still have high hope. This was a game where I didn't feel like, it was one mistake, but I felt like Baltimore had the opportunity of still remaining in the game because, of the way that they're playing. It's the same way watching Cincinnati or Arizona. This is the back end of the season where this is, these exciting teams are going to display why they deserve, or going to show the case why they deserve to play in October baseball. The Dodgers picked up the victory tonight, 6-4, final score. Winning pitcher is Shahan from the Dodgers. He moves to 3-0 with a 4.1 ERA as Baker picks up the loss. He moves to 3-3 with a 3.89 ERA. Brazier picks up his second save on the season. He moves to 5.13 ERA, and that's your final tally score for tonight. Rest of the series will look like this for the Dodgers and the Orioles. Tomorrow night, they'll play 7:05. Michael Grove is going to be the nod for the Dodgers, as Baltimore will send out Tyler Wells for tomorrow night, and they will conclude their rubber game series on Wednesday. Well, I want to give a big shout out to StreamYard Studios, the proud home of the TNC Sports Talk YouTube channel, where you could create your podcasts, videos, host virtual business meetings, and even conduct their interviews. Check out their free version today at StreamYard.com. And also give a big shout out to Useful Trivia, providing the trivia questions for tonight's ball games for both Baltimore and Los Angeles side. For all your trivia need, head on over to usefultrivia.com. Also want to shout out to MLB.com for providing the game day stats, news information, highlights, and all that love stuff. If you guys want to look at the news, stats, highlights, scores, standing, whatever, head on over to MLB.com for more information. All right, that will wrap up our game time scenario. But be sure to stay tuned, because coming up next is a full withdrawn episode of the post-game show. Thank you guys for tuning in to tonight's ball game between the Dodgers and the Orioles. My name is Justin. You guys have a great night, and we'll see you later on. Well, what is going on, everyone? Welcome to the post-game show on tonight's baseball game between the Baltimore Orioles and the Los Angeles Dodgers. My name is Justin. For the next 30 minutes, we'll be covering the highlights, recaps of tonight's ball game, our thoughts and opinions, as well as we'll take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard and take a look at what we have in store for you coming up next and tomorrow between these two ball clubs. Want to first give a big shout out to StreamYard Studios, the proud home of the TNC Sports Talk YouTube channel, where you can create podcasts, videos, host virtual business meetings, and conduct interviews. Try out their free version today at StreamYard.com. Well, the Dodgers picked up game one of this 3-game series tonight, all thanks to, I gotta say, a grand slam out to center field into the Orioles bullpen, a matter of fact, that it gave them the lead. They were down 4-2 in the top of the fifth inning, a couple of walks, and a grand slam by Chris Taylor that just turned the game right around. And the Dodgers were able to cruise on the way to victory thanks to their bullpen, getting the last outs in the ninth inning, and they picked up a victory. The Dodgers move on to 54-39 on their record. The Baltimore Orioles moved to 57-36 as well, with the Orioles losing pitcher Baker, who moves to 3-3. And his ERA drops to 3.89. He went one inning, giving up one hit, 2 runs, a walk, and allowed a home run. The Dodgers winning pitcher is your starting pitcher, Shahan, who went 5 innings, giving up 5 hits, allowing 4 runs, 3 walks, 2 strikeouts, 1 home run. And Brazier picked up his second save on the season, going 1 inning, walking 1 batter in tonight's game. Final score between the Dodgers and the Orioles. Dodgers win. Final score 6-4. Coming up, we'll get you the details and all the information you need to know about tonight's game, our initial thoughts, and an out-of-town scoreboard. Much more still to come. You're listening to the post-game show here on the TNC Sports Talk YouTube channel. You guys are listening to the TNC Sports Talk post-game show here on the TNC Sports Talk YouTube channel, where we are recapping the final score of the Los Angeles Dodgers victory 6-4 over the Baltimore Orioles. Here's how the game started here. Bottom of the first inning, Ryan Mountcastle doubles. 14th on the year on a ground ball to left field to David Peralta. Anthony Santander scores. Ryan O'Hearn to third base. Gives the Orioles a 1-0 lead. The Orioles continue their scoring process in the bottom of the second inning with Adam Frazier, who grounds out to shortstop Chris Taylor to first base to Freddie Freeman. Colton Cowser scores. Ramon Urias moves up to third. The Orioles jump out to a 2-0 lead. Later in the second, Gunnar Henderson triples, his fourth on the season on a ground ball to right field Jason Hayward. Ramon Urias scores, and the Orioles take a 3-0 lead. Top of the fourth inning, J.D. Martinez singles on a ground ball to left field Colton Cowser. Freddie Freeman scores. Will Smith advances to second, and the Dodgers are on board 3-1. Bottom of the fifth inning, Aldi Rutschman homers to his number 13th on the season on a line drive to right field. Adds on that lead again. Baltimore up 4-1. Top of the sixth inning is where everything kind of went haywire for the Orioles. Will Smith singles on a sharp line drive to left center field. Freddie Freeman scores, cutting their deficit down to 4-2. Later in the at-bat, Chris Taylor hits a grand slam, his 12th home run on the season, to center field. Scores in Will Smith, Max Muncy, and Jason Hayward to give the Dodgers a 6-4 lead. And since then, it was just lights out. Great game. I think it was a solid game. Your total line score here for this evening. Final score, 6 runs. For the Dodgers, 6 runs, 11 hits, 1 home run hit, total of 17 bases, 5 left on base. Baltimore, 4 runs, 7 hits, 1 home run, total bases 14, and with 5 runners left on base. Total time for tonight's game is 2 hours and 51 minutes at Camden Yards, Oriole Park at Camden Yards in Baltimore, Maryland, and in front of a total of attendance 21,956 on a 98-degree clear sky July summer afternoon. Top performers: Freddie Freeman for the Dodgers, who went 3 for 5. He was shy. He was a home run shy of the cycle. He had 2 runs in tonight's game. Chris Taylor, top performer, 1 for 4, but hey, a grand slam is all he needed, as he had 4 RBIs with the run to his name. Got to give Baltimore a little bit of credit. Aldi Rutschman went 1 for 3 with a walk, a home run, an RBI, and a run batted in. So that's the top performers of your game today. And, listen, Rodriguez was back. And you know what? Listen, we knew at the beginning of the game that this was a small piece of, this is a young pitching from both teams. For Baltimore, you had Rodriguez coming back. He went 5 innings, giving up 7 hits, allowing 4 runs, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts, a lot better than his last outing. And the Orioles went through Baker, who ended up initially losing the game, Bauman, and Vespi. And when you have an upcoming schedule, as in 2 more against the Dodgers and 4 more in Tampa Bay against the Rays, you have to play a bit conservative game 1. Yeah, I think it's great. You don't want to rush out your bullpen. Vespi, who went 2 1/3 of an inning, giving up 2 hits and 1 strikeout, I think it's a smart way to do so. And there's nothing wrong with the offensive power. I think we saw plenty of that tonight. and 4 or 5 runs is bad. But when you go up against a team like the Dodgers, it seems like almost nothing initially helps. So you go back to the drawing board. Your 8-game winning streak comes to an end. So what do? I think you just move on to tomorrow and try your best. I don't think Baltimore can come in here expecting to take 6 of 7, 5 of 7. I think, they have confidence that they can come in and take 5 or 7, but you can't expect to go 7-0, and go 6-1 in this week series. And this is a big week series for Baltimore, especially in the race that they're in. So, it was a good performance. I really liked it. I think there's more of like this to come because you look at the upcoming pitching, for the rest of the series, which we'll talk about, there's just a little bit more into it. Dodger side of things, hey, I think you picked up the series in New York. You come into Baltimore, picking up a road win. I think it's an important road win for the Dodgers. This is the time of season in that NL West because the San Francisco's in second place. You have Arizona in third. That's in contingency. Who knows how the Padres, if they could turn that around in the West. You're looking at the Dodgers that the Dodgers have played very simple baseball, and they've shown, hey, we don't need to have the best record in baseball to win games, to be dominant. We don't have to have the top tier players to be dominant. We are dominant, just where we are now. Now we're in first place. We're in the middle of July, and we're expecting to, play that back stretch. And I think Dodgers have played very smart baseball. If you think about it, you don't need to rush players back. You get a lot of these teams who are kind of rushing and saying, hey, we need to win now. You still have 2 whole months of full baseball, competitive baseball. And, why are the Dodgers so healthy? Because they don't really, really excessively overwork their staff. Shahan picks up his 3rd win on the season, and you're getting a crack at some of these younger guys. Now, they went through a little bit more of their bullpen, but I don't think they have any worries because they have Thursday off. So I think this lines up for another 2 or 3, for the next 2 games, a very interesting game. And if you haven't gotten a chance to listen to this game or watch this game, if you get a chance to, I recommend doing so. I got to ask the question. Does this lead into, what do you do at the trade deadline coming up here in about 2 weeks? Do you trade? Do you not trade? What do you do? What don't you do? So I'm, pretty intrigued for the Dodgers. Do you have to do anything? I'm sure another arm will definitely help, but they're also trusting the system. And Baltimore, maybe another arm as well. I think pitching is always a key element. All right, we're going to take a break. Coming on back, we'll get you a out-of-town scoreboard. And also take a look at what's up to come here on the post-game show. Thank you guys for tuning in to the TNC Sports Talk YouTube channel. My name is Justin. Stay tuned because the post-game show continues right after this. All righty, welcome back here to the post-game show as the Dodgers picked up the game one of a three-game series over the Baltimore Orioles, 6-4. And let's take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard thanks to MLB.com. Get all your scores, news, highlights, stories, and standings, much more by visiting MLB.com for all your information. Well, only two games are final so far this evening. That is the Dodgers and Orioles, as we were speaking of here in this post-game show. Also, the Texas Rangers came back after being down 2-0 early on to beat the Tampa Bay Rays 3-2, which actually helps the Dodgers, or excuse me, the Orioles on this hand, as it doesn't really affect them much, as they are still a game back of the AL East. A game that's delayed in the top of the eighth inning thanks to some weather concerns and delays is the San Francisco Giants and the Cincinnati Reds. They're tied at 2 as there are 2 men on and 1 out in the top of the eighth inning. Alex Young, it was the pitcher at the time, and Davis is the batter. So we'll see if that continues, what happens there. Halfway through the ninth, the Guardians are shutting out the Pirates 11-0. Bottom of the eighth inning, the Cardinals have a 6-4 lead over Miami Marlins. Nationals have a 7-5 lead over the Cubs. A 3-2 lead the Tigers possess over the Kansas City Royals midway through the eighth inning. Right now, there's a manager challenge going on in Anaheim as the Angels and Yankees are scoreless. Bottom of the third inning, Eduardo Escobar up to plate. Luis Severino is pitching. There's a runner on first. We'll see what that says over there. And then also bottom of the third inning, Boston Red Sox up 2-0 over the Athletics, and the Minnesota Twins 1-0 top of the third inning. So we'll keep a look at what goes on around the horn. Major League's out-of-town scoreboard here, giving you thanks to MLB.com. You look at the updating standings then, if that's the case. Tampa Bay losing, right? They now still a game, still a game, even though there's technically 3 games separating Baltimore and Tampa Bay for record rights. They're still through a game back, even though they lost. They're still 8-2 in the last 10 games. Tampa Bay is also 3-7. You think about this, Baltimore is going to be going into Tampa Bay here this weekend. Tampa Bay drops a series to Texas, helps Baltimore out. Wouldn't you also think maybe Baltimore would like to have some sort of confident motivation going in on the road to Tampa Bay and a chance to walk away this week in first place of the AL East? It's going to be a tight race. And that's what is going to be so wonderful about this. Toronto on an 8-2 picked up the last 4 wins, 4-game winning streak. They'll play the Padres tomorrow night. And then Boston and New York, you kind of want them both to lose so that you can kind of keep them down at the bottom of the division. Take a look at the Dodgers real quick right now. They right now on a 8-2 run, 54-39. They're 2 games up right now of the Giants, and once that game concludes, we'll find out. Arizona will play Atlanta tomorrow. San Diego's in Toronto, and the Rockies hosting Houston. I mean, other than Atlanta Braves, who are the best team right now in baseball, looking to probably even be one of the favorites for this year's World Series, if the division right now, if the season ended right now, we're looking at Tampa Bay, Texas, Minnesota, Baltimore, Toronto, and Houston. And Baltimore has a good lead over Toronto. So pretty confident, pretty hype. This is what you need. If you're Baltimore, you need that separation. You just need to continue pushing. Don't need to panic. Oh, we're, 1 series down. I mean, this is the week that you're looking forward to. Hey, we're not playing so well, but we got to make it up, right? Take advantage of the teams that you can play well as, next. But you have that separation with Toronto. You need this heading into the end of August. You need this gap between between Baltimore and Toronto, even if you could jump into first place for a couple weeks. It will definitely help Baltimore do good for the long haul here. The Dodgers, are they going to try to contend against Atlanta? I really don't know. Very interesting, but I think their more focus is just about concealing the division deal because you'll get the first round bye. And right now, if the playoffs would happen right now, Miami's in San Francisco, that series, the winner will face the Dodgers. So, it's one game at a time. And the Dodgers have shown that, listen, you've seen that Arizona to, lead the, first half of the season up very high. San Francisco's climbed right back in the mix. San Diego is still a short game out of it, but don't overlook them. But, this is still anyone's division in all retrospect. So, I say that the Dodgers are just getting started. They haven't even started yet. We're not even in August. The dog digs, and that's one thing, as we head to the trade deadline, and as we also see what else is capable, what else is coming through. There's teams like Atlanta and like LA and like Tampa. They've had this down. They've been in this position before. They'll do it again. But it's teams like, like Baltimore and Cincinnati who is contending, they have to make those decisions on how their team is going to move forward looking into September baseball. Because first of all, you're not going to go pick up an outfield or a starting pitcher without giving up someone. You're not going to go be able to pick up, you got to pinpoint exactly what you're doing. And notice that if you go give up someone that's playing well right now on your team, and you look at the roster for the Orioles, and I'm just scratching my head, and I'm like, who do you really willing to pick up? Maybe, I guess if I'm looking at it, is Adam Frazier good enough to put on the block and get anyone out of him? Right now, teams are deciding either we're going to gut our team and pick up prospects, or we're going to contend and try to win. I think Baltimore is kind of in the mix of, hey, do we contend and win, or do we go for prospects? Dodgers, the Dodgers are the Dodgers. I used to say by that. Well, that's your out-of-town scoreboard given to you thanks to MLB.com. All right, let's take our final break of the post-game show. When we come on back, we'll take a look at what's to come tomorrow. Also take a look at what's coming up next on the TNC Sports Talk YouTube channel. So stay tuned as the post-game show continues here on the TNC Sports Talk YouTube channel. We want to go ahead and invite you guys out to our next game, which is actually Wednesday night here on the TNC Sports Talk YouTube channel. First pitch is scheduled for 6:40 Eastern Standard Time, where the Milwaukee Brewers and the Philadelphia Phillies will take on each other in Game 2 of their 3-game series. Game 1 will be tomorrow night. Game 2 will be Wednesday night. Right now, left-handed pitcher Wade Miley will be scheduled to go up against left-handed pitcher Christopher Sanchez for both ball clubs. Those are subject to change, but we will begin our coverage at 6 o'clock with a pregame show. Milwaukee Brewers, Philadelphia Phillies, Wednesday, July 19th at 6:40 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tonight's games, we take a look at what happened tonight. The Dodgers beat the Baltimore Orioles. Game 1 of a 3-game series, as the final score was 6-4. The Dodgers moved to 54-39. The Orioles will move to 57-36. Taking a look at what comes up tomorrow, first pitch. We will not be broadcasting the game, but the first pitch of the game, pitching matchups for tomorrow, will be Michael Grove, 26 years old, right-hander for the Dodgers, was drafted by the Dodgers back in 2018, went to West Virginia, debuted last year, May 15th. He will get the nod for the Dodgers as he's 1-2 on the season with the 6.89 ERA. In 11 games, he struck out 43. Last pitch on July 8th against the Angels, where he picked up the victory as he pitched 6 innings, giving up 6 hits, 4 runs, allowing 1 walk, and 6 strikeouts. For the Orioles, trying to get back on their winning ways tomorrow night, 28-year-old Tyler Wells will get the nod for the mound. He's drafted by the Minnesota Twins in 2016 from Cal State San Bernardino. He's 7-4 on the season, 3.18 ERA in 18 games. He's struck out 103 batters so far. He last pitched on July 8th also, picking up that victory as he went 6 hits, giving up 6 runs, 2 runs, allowing 2 walks and 4 strikeouts. So tomorrow's coverage will be available on, let me pop that up real quick. So tomorrow's game, first pitch, 7:05 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's going to be available for the Baltimore Orioles fans. You can watch the game on MASN if you're in Baltimore. You can watch it on Sportsnet LA if you're in LA, Los Angeles. Or you could watch it on TBS, out of market games only, for national. You could also listen to tomorrow night's game on 98 Rock FM HD2 97.9 or WBAL News Radio AM FM for Baltimore. For the Dodgers, you can listen to this game tomorrow night at Dodgers Radio AM 570 or KTNQ 1020. It'll be at 7:05 in Oriole Park at Camden's Yards, Baltimore, Maryland. So be sure to check out this excellent pitching staff from both ball clubs. Like I said, expected to have themselves a really good game tomorrow. I'm excited to watch the rest of this series. Also, you could conclude by coming back to Wednesday afternoon as Julio Urias will get the nod for the Dodgers. He's 7-5 going up against the Baltimore Orioles. Dean Kramer on Wednesday for the rubber game finale. The Dodgers will have a Friday off as they head to Texas to take on the first place Rangers, and Baltimore will head down south to Tampa, Florida, to begin a 4-game series against the Tampa Bay Rays. So that's what it looks like moving forward. But that also wraps up and concludes our program for this evening. Want to thank everyone for tuning out. Please be sure to hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Also, don't forget to have those notifications on so you don't miss a single episode on the TNC Sports Talk YouTube channel. Also, want to give a shout out to StreamYard. We create podcasts, videos, host virtual business meetings, and even conduct interviews. Check out their free version today at StreamYard.com. Also want to give a big shout out to Useful Trivia. Useful Trivia provided all of our trivia questions for this evening. For all your trivia question needs, head on over to usefultrivia.com. Also, give a big shout out to MLB.com for all your news, scores, stories, highlights, anything you name it on MLB.com. Join us back in on Wednesday, July 19th, 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time for the preparation of Milwaukee and Philadelphia. Thank you guys for listening so much for tonight's podcast between the Dodgers and the Orioles. Final score 6-4. Dodgers win. Until the next time, you guys all take care. Have a wonderful rest of your afternoon.